Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 94 of Lost in Translationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Bada.
What? Why would you do this to me?
Because I'm Bada.
Bada. And this
Hi
week,
everybody, I'm Bada.
And this week, we watched the Digimon Frontier movie, Island of the Lost Digimon.
Or...
Why would you ever say it properly?
Okay. I'll do it properly. I believe it's pronounced or. Alright. It's a long title.
Onto the show. For DigiNews this week, first off, we have some news that makes me really sad, and it's that Hot Topic has blind bagged Digimon figures in the USA. It makes me sad because we're in Australia and they don't have a Hot Topic here.
You mean Hot Dabba?
And it's going to be, really hard to import because...
Just don't.
Thanks, Australia.
Just
but
don't do it.
So cute!
Just don't do it.
And there's also, plushies that are going to come out soon,
You have
too.
plenty of cute stuff already. Just don't do it.
But I want a little dome with, a Greymon or a Palmon or
Just
all
don't.
of them.
Just don't.
They're really cute.
Just don't.
Another bit of news that will make everyone sad, but I don't really mind, is that Digimon is being removed from the Netflix America.
Wasn't it just Frontier?
No, it's the first 3 seasons removed.
Bye.
So, yeah, this doesn't affect us because it was never on Netflix Australia to begin with, and it sort of jumps on and off Netflix all the time in America, it seems. But no, it's if that's how you're watching Digimon, I'm sorry, but... Yeah, it doesn't affect us, but I just thought we'd mention it.
It's okay, Lucha Underground will be there soon. In fact, it's there now. You should watch that instead.
And El Ligero was all like, hey, Netflix UK, buddy.
Did he?
Yeah.
What? When?
On Twitter.
Did he?
Yeah.
About Digimon?
About Lucha Underground, the thing you were just mentioning, Jay.
Oh, because El Ligero's not on that. I was confused.
Yeah, but he wants to watch it.
That's awesome. Cool guy. I did not know about that.
Of course not, because he's in England.
He could move.
But, yeah, so, and speaking of things that don't affect us, but we should probably talk about anyway, there is a Digimon Adventure Try English DVD release coming out soon.
That doesn't affect me.
But it doesn't affect me because there's been no Australian release day, or any news to do with that, so I'm negative.
Just do what you've done with everything else. Get an American DVD player.
I don't have an American DVD player.
Yeah, you didn't have a Japanese PlayStation either, but guess what? You fixed that problem. Then you unfix the problem, then you refix the problem.
Yeah, by blowing it up. Please don't let me near electronics.
Okay, fine, I'll help you out there.
No, I need that for my notes.
Oh no, my notes. Behold!
Long story short,
She blew up her PlayStation, it was hilarious.
Yeah, I fixed it. It cost me 70 cents to fix my PlayStation.
40?
Yep, it was 40. And then it cost me 30 to fix the Sega Saturn that I promptly blew up afterwards just to check to see if that's actually how I blew it up.
That was the funniest thing ever.
That was the unneeded death.
Okay, imagine that you have a car, right? A car that you need to get to work. And one day, you accidentally set off some dynamite in the engine block, alright? This is my great example. And you think to yourself, okay, the car doesn't work anymore. I don't know why. So the first thing I will do, before I even start investigating what it might be through, the Google or something.
I thought you were about to say El Chupacabra,
I was going to say the Joogle, but that's not it. So before you even Google it, the first thing you do is you go to your other car, which was new and shiny and still hadn't been driven, and it's got a sheet over it, and you take the sheet off and you put another dynamite into the underblock and it blows up, and you go, huh, this one doesn't work now either. Wonder why that is.
And some more Digimon news, which is on a happier note, is that there's some new Atmon art for the next arc of Atmon, and it says April on it.
Everyone's dead.
So, yeah, that's we won't talk about it because I'm not showing Jay it because I don't think Jay wants to see it because it's spoilers for him.
What are the odds that the best episodes, with the most character development of all of Atmon, will be April Fool's episode?
Oh my gosh. Please, can they not do... Wait, there's Atmon. They can do an April Fool's episode.
I want to see...
As long as they don't hurt me.
I want in the April Fool's episode either for it to... I want, Ty to walk in, and Ty's... And, from Try, the kids walk in, and they're doing other stuff.
Okay, so Agumon is actually in one of the... an arcade game for Atmon. The DCD one.
What?
The one that's not... it's the one with, the cards.
The card ass.
No, it's not the Cardass. It's not the Cardass one, but it's the DCD Cardass one.
I don't know what that means.
There are two different sets of cards. I have all of them. So
This is sad. You know that, right?
Just a question.
Did you ever think that you're being sad?
Did you actually want to look at the art?
No.
Okay, because I was going to show you. It's because I would like
Is
to.
it big spoils? I'll watch it. I'll look at it if it's not big spoils.
It's arguable because
Is it big spoils or not?
It's about the new Apply driver. We know that he's part. We're pretty sure
Then
he's
it's
part.
big spoils. I don't want to see
It's not huge. It's not big spoils.
It is big spoils.
It's not big spoils. It's really cool. I would like to hear.
Really big spoils.
I would really like to hear you react about
I
it.
want to react for it naturally in the show.
But it's so cool.
No, you take your spoils away from me.
I just really want to talk
No,
about it.
no.
I don't want to talk
I
about
will
it.
do the rest of the show as ba-da-ba-doo-ba-da-ba-doo.
Can I show you part of it?
I will
No, this part's not spoils.
Okay, fine. That's cute. Isn't that Offmon?
That's Offmon. But
Are you sure that's not big spoils?
No, his partner is here.
But is this not big spoils?
No, his partner is here. That part's big spoils. We already knew that there was going to be a new Apply driver.
Okay, but like...
So
the new Apply driver could be the one with Cameron.
Well, we don't know that part. That part is still up in the air, whether or not it was the one with Cameron or not.
Like, this could be... Maybe, is it the one from the game?
No, it's not. He has been in the game. Much of the game I had played with, no, he has not been in the game.
Okay. So it's a he, though. So it's not I.
No, it's not. It's not I.
Okay.
So you don't want me to show you?
No, I don't.
There's a new design. Okay, I'm just.
Don't hurt me. No, I'm not seeing it.
I'm trying to. I can't. I was trying to show you the new design of the Atmon, the Atmon drive, but I can't actually show you without showing you who is holding it.
I hate you. I'm not even gonna ask. I don't want to know.
The answer's probably yes. If that's what you're going to ask, the answer's yes.
Oh, okay, I do want. I'll ask my one because is it a character we've seen already?
Well, that's why I'm not going. Obviously, that's why I'm not showing you it.
Okay.
Did you want me to show
No,
you?
no,
It's
no,
really
no,
cool.
no, no, show me.
I won't show you. I won't spoil.
I need these reactions when I see the show to be genuine. There it is. Hate that.
Well,
hate having that feeling of there it is. Okay,
I'm actually on the side of the Japanese when they're like, we want to show you how it got there. We don't want to show you what's happening because we'll show you that before, but we'll show you how to get there.
No, I think that that's fascinating, and I go, that's interesting, but I never get the constricting feeling of, what's that happening? Like with wrestling, right? If I know who's going to win a match, even though I know it's all rigged, I don't think the match is nearly as interesting anymore because tension is part of storytelling, which the Japanese don't care about, but I do. I always do. Speaking of which, this movie sucked.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that yet. We are talking about the next bit of DigiNews, which is there are new Digimon for the B-Pet, and this is Blitzgreymon and Crescarurumon.
That sounds crap. What are they?
Basically, the Digimon way of strapping metal onto things. I'm trying to find a picture.
Wait, so is Blitzgreymon higher than Wargreymon?
I think it's just an alternate evolution for him. I'm not sure, because this news just came out. I'm just trying to find...
They really hamstrung themselves with this, Ultimate's the highest one.
Yeah, but then it wasn't when we had Malamayodismon.
Yeah, but what was he? Was he super ultimate? Like, is there a level for what he was? Or is he a slide evolution?
Okay, so here is Blitzgreymon, and here is Crescarurumon.
I legitimately like Blitzgreymon.
I legitimately like Crescarurumon. That looks like Zeidgarurumon, but he has a sword now.
No, see, that one's
He has pants now.
That one is not the same guy. That is a totally different being. Because the worst part about that is it's Garurumon with stuff on him, but that's not what he would evolve out of, right? It's... Well, it probably is, actually. But, it's Metal Garurumon who stood up again for no reason. That's nonsense. But Blitzgreymon looks like Wargreymon, who had a cool transformation where, blood went all over his armor. And then he got giant guns. I'm like, I'll take that. That's the kind of evolution I'm happy to see.
For Lost in NewsLatelymon this week, Young Mi's fanfic has almost finished from being read in the outro.
Not news.
And, well, it's Lost in NewsLatelymon. And so that means it'll be continued soon. So contributions from listeners will take place in the Continuation Mon channel in our Slack group, but we'll let you know when we're actually finished. And I haven't actually done this yet because I've been super crazy busy, but I'm going to add a new Patreon milestone, and it's once a month we'll be covering the Digimon manga starting from V-Tamer. This will obviously take place once we're finished with Lane.
Oh my god, we have to do so much work.
Well, if we ever get to that milestone, I'm trying to decide what it should be. It's I'm trying to work out if it's $275 or $300 milestone.
I don't know what it looks like anymore, what our other milestones are. So, is this $25 above other milestones?
Yeah, it's $25 above the 250 milestone, which I don't think we'll even get that. It's a very hopeful, optimistic
Is 300
view.
a milestone we already have?
300 is the we'll think about it later milestone.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll work out what level that's going to be, but it's just something like people keep on saying, hey, you should cover the V-Tamer manga, like, in your show. I'm like, well, maybe we'll just make it a milestone and we'll just do it as a monthly show. And we'll do the other manga as well. We'll do Digimon next. We'll do Cross Wars.
Let's stick it on 300, considering how much work editing is for you.
Yeah, but if it's once a month, it's like, we do 2 episodes a week. An extra one isn't going to kill me, probably. Actually, maybe.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I do a lot of work. I basically died this week.
I think if people hand you $25, you'd be like, okay. If people hand you 12, you're like, I don't know.
I've been very busy. Speaking of how busy I've been doing the most annoying job to do with the podcast. So all our episodes have 1,400 by 1,400 pixels dimension images, right?
Yeah.
And that's the perfect dimensions for, well, it's the minimum dimension for iTunes to have as art. But for some reason, SoundCloud has not been putting them as 1,400, but as 1,399 point something.
Why?
I don't know. Maybe SoundCloud hates me. So what I've been doing is I've been going through all 140 episodes of our podcast and making the icons and making them bigger so they don't kill resolution. And I haven't finished them all yet because it takes... I have been dying. I'm just about how much work I have to do. I'm like, I'm not even halfway there. Maybe I am.
No.
For our main show, I've done up to episode 70 something, I think. But then I haven't done Atmon yet, except for the most recent one, and I have a special episodes to do as well. And it's a lot of work. But I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna look nicer for new listeners who will look at it, and it may look a bit more inviting than just the same logo that we have for the main show. And it's just something I'm dying. And then I have to check that they all worked. Are you seeing The Offspring?
No.
Because that's Offspring.
No, it's the
You gotta keep them separated.
No, I think it's from like a Crazy Taxi ad. Yeah.
It sounds like it's from The Offspring, my friend.
No, that's it. But it's not from a song. It's just that part.
They probably took it from The Offspring because Crazy Taxi and The Offspring were both around the same time. Anyway, speaking of things that I've been doing that is time consuming for the podcast. I've been encoding all our remaining episodes into video format, so I'm done with that. But now I have to upload the remaining bit, but I only have to upload 20-something more. Okay. And then we'll be doing that with your internet, Jay.
Yep, ready for abuse, as usual.
Because my internet, for some reason, can't handle uploading things, because it already takes, 2 hours to upload 100 megabytes. Why?
Yeah.
I hate you so much, but I don't. So that's fun. Speaking of things that take me a lot of time, again, is that episode 93, which was our last episode, had a bit of a boo-boo in Obnoxious Synopsis in the first... And this was only for, the first hour of the release, so maybe some of our listeners are not aware of this, but I just want to talk about it. So what had happened is that it had episode 92's Obnoxious Synopsis in it, because I'd placed the Obnoxious Synopsis in the wrong file, and so I picked the wrong one. And I edit Obnoxious Synopsis before we record the podcast, so it's already all done for me to record, for me to plop in the podcast the next morning. And I woke up at 4:30 a.m. I sort of made sure that it was in there properly. I didn't listen to the whole thing because, as I said, I already knew it was up, edited, and I didn't want to, retread over finished ground. And it wasn't the right one, and I probably should have checked it, but as I said, I woke up at 4:30 in the morning after 2 hours of sleep.
She does that. That's
frightening. That's also what I do after we... I'm not sure if we mentioned it, but my sleep schedule is not good on Friday nights. We finish... I finish sending it out to Patreon supporters, and I, prepare it for editing the next morning, and then I go to bed at 2, and I wake up quite early in the morning to edit it, so I can potentially have a weekend.
Professional podcaster me.
But yes, so sorry that got a bit real about how much work we've been doing. But yes, so thanks to Riku who pointed this out in our Slack chat, and she pointed it out basically within 5 minutes of downloading the episode, which was quite soon after uploading it, and told us straight away. So I immediately stopped what I was doing, fixed the episode, made sure the segments transitions were still correct, and then re-uploaded it. And so if you did notice that it was episode 92 but haven't re-downloaded that episode, and you do want to hear Obnoxious Synopsis for that episode, you'll have to download episode 93 again. But I'm really sorry about that.
But
I'll try to like be better at editing and not stuff up anymore.
Actually, you know what?
What?
I think in all the obnoxious synopses, I will just give, as I have been, pretty much the same answers.
Frontier will be bad.
Frontier will be bad. Everything will annoy me. 5 out of 10. And that way, you can't get it wrong.
Yeah.
It's a simple solution.
We don't even have to record of you to say that every week. I'll just say, first episode, what do you think? Frontier will be bad. What rating? 5. Second episode, Frontier will be bad. Rating? 4.
I legitimately want to do that for like a stretch of 6 episodes. I want to see people notice.
I could just copy and paste it, really. Just say, No need to do that.
Change the order of some of the questions sometimes just to psych people out.
Yeah, I can do that with editing. I'll just ask you a range of questions and, pick and choose, right?
Yeah.
For weekly poll this week, it'll be choose between Kotemon or Kumamon/Bearmon. The obviously choice is Kumamon, though.
Obvious choice is Kotemon.
Hey! Excuse you.
You know what Kotemon doesn't have? A stupid hat that says Kendo.
Yeah, you know what Kumamon does have that Kotemon doesn't? Being alive.
No, he's alive at the end.
I don't know. It seems very convenient.
Also, he has a runny nose.
Gross. There's no obnoxious synopsis this week because it's a movie, but so I guess the question would be, what do you think? Frontier will be bad, and
5 out of 10. Something will annoy me.
Something
Probably
will always-
butt bashes.
something will annoy. Oh my gosh! Like
I have the best screenshot of the week.
No, you don't.
It's the
It's
best
awful.
one we've ever had.
So onto the episode.
What episode? It's a movie.
Movie. Onto the movie. Onto the episode of the discussion, which is our movie. Wait, other way around.
Let's be real, just in advance. This is the most competent plot out of all of the Digimon
Oh yeah,
movies.
and it had the most consistent feature: Takuya's sneeze.
That was funny, and also really random. We'll talk about that when we get there, but primarily I want to just mention that this is a very competently run plot.
Yeah.
Like, beginning to end, it's pretty much consistent, and the twist is interesting, and it actually totally foreshadows it if you're paying attention.
Oh yeah, it actually because I knew that was already happened, and I didn't notice that when I first watched it when I was like I want to say 12, maybe older, maybe 14. Anyway, so when I first watched that, I was like, oh, the twist. But watching it this time, you just like see her show up, like Darkmon show up, and she just sort of like you can see her almost like transition in, like she's changing.
You see like the glow of the slide evolution right at
Yeah.
the end, but then it does this little trick where it cuts to the two aggressive people, then cuts back to her.
Yeah, and then you see
you don't really
yeah.
connect the feet and stuff.
Another time you see Hippogriffamon running, and then all of a sudden you see Darkmon. Ah. But it's like, it's good foreshadowing, so you can always see... It's very obvious if you know. If
because
you know,
I
it's
watched
obvious.
it twice in a row, I can tell you the first time I didn't see it, and the second time I totally saw it.
Yeah, and yeah, it was the same. It was kind of like, oh, that's really... I was kind of worried. I'm like, oh, maybe I didn't notice how obvious that was because I was young and, not as bright. But now I see... But, yeah, no, it's... I'm glad that you didn't think it was super obvious, because I was worried that you'd say, oh, it was so obvious.
The only thing that's really random, and that I don't like, I think, about the plot in general, like, we'll talk about the movie and whether or not it makes any, like, whether or not the movie is good, which I don't think it necessarily is, because it's got one episode's worth of stuff for 40 minutes. But, the only problem is that in Darkmon's, by the way, Darkmon.
So...
In English,
Yeah.
shouldn't the kids be like, I can't trust them? Like Evilmon?
But it was-
You can't trust Evilmon.
I think it's meant to be like...
No, it's
dark.
dark.
No, but it's the Diark. It's got like a...
It's not Diark.
Well, okay, real talk. As a child, I didn't watch Tamers in Japanese,
Yeah.
so I knew it was a D-Power. But then I read about it being the D-Arc, and then I saw this movie, and I was like, D-Arc. So I got them confused between D-Arc as in the Digivice and D-Arc as in Darkmon. Darkmon.
Is it D-Arcmon? Is that actually
It's
the case?
always written as D''ARCmon.
Oh.
D-Arc.
Oh, alright.
So it's like
That's
totally
not D-Arc,
French.
that's D-Arc.
Isn't like Joan of d'Arc?
That's funny. So, basically,
D-Arc.
one of the confusing bits... Actually, screw it, no, that'll come out in the discussion.
Yeah.
Alright, so we begin with Izumi humming. And she's just going along, and it's this sound going with the desert. Unless you're in English, in which case, Tollmon is like...
Are we there yet?
No.
How about now?
No.
Now?
No, and no. Now, will you please stop asking? Ugh.
Okay. How about now?
Unless you have a real question, be quiet.
Pokemon?
Yes?
I have a question.
What is it?
Are we there yet?
No!
Okay.
I love them so much. They're the best characters. I'm glad they actually put the script as a character, because he's the best character.
he carries the script
He's
with
like,
him.
behold!
That's my favorite. It's in the first episode. My favorite line of the whole thing.
I love it every time
He's
he picks...
so proud.
When he picks up the book in this movie was actually almost my screenshot of the week.
So let's see. When would this take place?
No, I have a
This
discussion.
movie?
I have a discussion point for it. I have a discussion point for it. We're not allowed to talk about that now.
Oh, okay.
I'm worried. I was worried that you were going to bring that up. Like, no.
Okay.
Let me have my discussion
They're on
point.
a weird crawling hand cam
Which is like
on.
the Mike Wazowski of Trailmon, apparently.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
And but before we get too far, I also want to say that Izumi is humming the same song in the original and the English version.
It's weird.
It's an Italian classical music song, apparently. I forgot what it's called.
Well, that if it's not Japanese, then the English doesn't need to change it.
I know, but I liked that they kept that little thing that she's humming an Italian song because she's Italian.
Koji's being a party pooper because he sucks.
Yeah, but that's just Kouji. Also, sorry, a bit more before... I'm sorry, I really have to talk about this.
Do you?
So, I just want to point out, you know what this opening scene is missing?
What?
Digimon. Like, you don't remember how the 02 movie had that song? The Tamers movie had that
so
song.
it is.
The other Tamers movie had that song. You know what movie doesn't have the Digimon Frontiers theme song?
This one.
This one. I mean, it's in the ending credits, but I'm just like, I felt like it would have been needed here.
You know what this really could have used? Mm-hmm. The Digivolution is up and running.
Did you know what's coming? The Digi Destiny starts today.
That's enough. That's
Let
enough of
me
the song.
hear
That's
you
well and truly enough.
I'm just very excited.
You overdid it.
So yeah, Kouji is being Kouji, and Tomoki wants to see an oasis, so he wants to stop. And in the dub, Tommy just wants to rest stop. And Kouji says, "Look, we don't have time to just play around." In the dub, he says that it would just be a waste of time to stop.
Well, we don't have time to stop and look around.
See, I think he's fair enough in the original. We don't know what they're doing or where they're going.
Yeah, but there's no urgency to it. They're on a hand car.
Yeah, and they're not going very fast. I'm pretty sure if they ran, it'd be faster.
And then in the English, it's the weirdest thing ever, where they're like, what is Koji's thing? Like, we're gonna be totally fine. There's nothing around here anyway. Let's just go. And then they immediately get attacked. He seems like such an idiot.
They just sort of like, as always, just kind of travel into the plot. And it's weird because...
Well, they're traveling a lot.
They say that the island is something that you can't escape from, yet these Digimon are doing a great job of not being on the island currently.
Yeah. There's a couple things about that doesn't make any sense. But first of all...
Isn't this wrong when we said this is the most consistent Frontier's been?
That's not part
Here
of
are these problems.
Let's be totally honest. That is not part of the plot at all. The fact that you can't leave the island, or the supposed fact you can't leave the island, is not part of the plot. It is never relevant. Never. It never comes up. It so never comes up that they take away lines about it in the English just to make you forget more.
Yeah.
So there's an umbrella on this handcar, which when I'm watching it, because it's pointed in such a way that if the wind should be pulling up in it and it would fly off.
Yep.
And then the fight begins and it just flies off on its own. I'm like, yeah, it happened.
It's almost like Atmon, like, hey, shouldn't this thing happen? Oh, it happened.
No, but it should have happened naturally. Like, it
Yeah.
didn't need that. Because clearly it was meant to be dramatic. But for me, it was like, oh, finally.
Izumi orders Takuya and Kouji to do something instead of watching, even though she's also a character, but who cares? Takuya and Kouji just say, hey, look, it's none of our business. In the dub, Zoe says that they caused the fighting because they were fighting, and then they both say, hey, it's not our fault.
Sorry, I'm now thinking, and I've never seen it before, but it would be really, really funny if there was like a romance anime with like a love triangle, and there's two guys fighting over a girl, and they're fighting, and she's kind of dumb. So they're fighting, and then it starts to rain, because you fought too much, and now the sky is sad.
I can imagine Izumi doing that, apparently. So have you noticed that so far in this movie we've just seen Tomoki on Junpei's head, and it's adorable?
I honestly didn't even remember
We've never
that
seen this
happened.
before, and it's so cute. He spends like the first bit of the movie on his head.
Then there's a UFO, and it's actually an island. And here's something they never explain. What are the green threads?
Maybe they're like, the green threads of destiny.
No, that's red.
I know.
So these are these big green glowing threads that are cut somehow.
Jay, they're the green
And
threads
then-
of plot.
And then the island falls into the sand? Is that correct?
Yeah, I think they're meant to be sort of like these ropes holding it up.
But attached to, I don't know what.
Maybe they're wires, because it's the digital world.
But attached to the sky?
The Digisky.
But then it appears to sink all the way into the sand.
The Digisand.
And then the kids wake up and they're on the island and it's in the sky.
The Digisky.
So what happened?
The plot happened.
There had to be a better way to get them onto this island.
This is the most consistent thing in Digimon Frontier.
No, in Digimon history.
Oof. Take that, Tamers.
No, like, yeah, look at... No, I mean, as movies, movie history. Like, let's be real, Attack of Diaboromon or whatever is a bit tainted because Willis created him.
That's not... No, that's our war game. Counterattack of Diaboromon is the second part.
Also, our war game is just full of, like, digital nonsense and convenient plot twists of, like, oh, my computer stopped working and that's why the bad guy won. That movie has problems. As much as that is more entertaining than this movie, its plot isn't as strong.
Oh, it's still probably the best Digimon movie, like our war game.
I'm going to say the plot of this one is strong, but at the same time... Like, and it makes sense later, but, like, it is not immediately clear in this movie why the beasts and the humans are fighting each other. It's like, we hate them! Ah, you are scum! But yeah, so they wake up on this island.
Before that, they're all commenting on something in the distance, and Izumi points it out.
UFO.
Takuya and Kouji say in unison, again, it's not our problem, which is them saying what they just previously said.
Also, it's not in Takuya's character to be like that.
But who cares? It's in the plot.
I do.
In the dub, they're saying that they have to stop it, so it's the opposite of what they're saying in the original version.
What does that mean, you have to stop it? Does that mean, like, if you saw a bird in the distance, oh, we have to stop it?
Also, I'm pretty sure this line is in the original only, but Bokumon says it's the wandering island that forms from a different dimension. So that's maybe what the green threads are. They're like this green threads of dimension plot.
Totally nonsense. It's in his book.
So then we get the opening, which is really kind of cool. Like the opening title screen.
Yeah, it's up against
It's like,
stone.
sort of like Jurassic Park. And you know what made me really sad?
What?
The dub didn't have word art.
No, they had a big fire thing.
Yeah, it was cool, and it looked like the
You were
Digimon...
upset how quality it was.
Yeah, it looked like the Digimon Frontier logo, but an English version of the Japanese Digimon Frontier logo.
Are you sure?
But it wasn't word art. It had that fire.
Oh, okay.
It just had the same sort of, like, stylized fire. But it just made me really upset because it wasn't... I was expecting really tacky word art. I had my fingers over the screenshot button. I was ready to do
What
it.
if it was, like, Times New Roman, but big, bold, in, like, the rainbow?
Oh, my God.
That word art rainbow?
That's what this movie needed. This movie needed Times New Roman.
Yeah, Rainbow
No,
Gradients.
it needed Comic Sans.
Comic Sans with rainbow gradients. And big shadows. And a bit of thickness. Yeah.
And in Terrabangs.
No, those are too classy.
So Kotemon wakes up Takuya. It's adorable. I love the
You
Digimon
mean
in the movie.
Kendomon?
Yeah. Is that what you called him in your notes?
Yes.
Are you still calling Kouji Blue Man Group?
Sometimes. Not in these notes.
I like how you call Beakmon and Tallmon. They're my favourite.
The problem with Blue Man Group is it's way longer to say than Kouji, and when you're watching things fast.
What about just Blue K? K Blue.
Thank you.
What?
He's K Blue. That's so easy. You lose no syllables. He says the same number of syllables.
Yeah. You never know how to spell blue correctly. Just BLU.
Yeah.
K Blue.
K Blue.
K Blue. It sounds like we're speaking
Deadpool
French.
and K Blue.
K Bleu.
Oh, croissants. K Blue.
Junpei and Tomoki are also
K Blue.
where Takuya are, but Izumi isn't, and Junpei starts looking for her because he's thirsty. Kotomon says if the children are okay, and Takuya asks if Junpei is okay, but he's just calling out for Izumi-chan! Takuya says, he's alright, which is kind of funny. In the dub, he says, look, he's just normally like this. Then a big machine shows up, and Junpei runs away from
Mad Max
it.
vehicle.
Oh, basically, yeah. No, this movie's pretty Mad Max. Takuya in the dub and Tommy think it's cool instead of just wondering, hey, what's that? Is that dangerous? Are we gonna die?
Yeah, it's weird. They're really, really different about it.
Yeah, like, in the original, like,
That's awesome!
are we going to die? In the dub, like, hey, that's pretty cool. And because they couldn't change the animation, JP is still scared of it. Which is fine. That's understandable.
That's awesome!
Tomoki wonders if it's a festival, and everyone looks so sad for some reason. I can't actually remember why, but everyone droops.
Well, there are fireworks.
In the dub, JP says that he thought he was the only big party machine.
That's so crap.
Get it? Because he's fat. Then we see a statue of a Digimon, or something looks like a Digimon.
An Ornismon.
And yeah, the Digimon explain that it's their guardian. And
No, we think it's the Guardian. According
Yeah.
to legend, it might be.
yeah, it's like what we said a few episodes ago. It's not a prophecy, it's an educated guess. It's not a very educated guess. It's a guess. It's not a prophecy, it's a guess. It's like
Well, in this case, honestly, I saw this and I was like, this plot sounds really familiar. You walk into a new place, there's a statue of a Digimon, and you say, that's our guardian Digimon. I wonder if it's going to come to life and help us out. Turns out that's not the plot.
Yeah, it's the opposite
It's
of
not a dog.
It's the opposite of Shutumon, yeah.
The Shisa. That's definitely not a Digimon.
Remember in the dub how they just decided to call it
it's just
Shutumon?
Shutumon.
Oh yeah, that's Shutumon. It's definitely not a Digimon. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that movie again.
Oh, we are.
So yeah, Bokumon shows up. So yay. And yeah, he points out that there is an ancient Garurumon and ancient Greymon on the wall, and that they fought it because of Lucymon, which they've already mentioned before. In the dub, Bokumon seems to say ancient Greymon and ancient Garurumon as like they're two different words instead of just ancient Garurumon and ancient Greymon. It's like, oh yes, ancient Greymon and Garurumon, as in it's like a descriptor rather than this is its name.
It's confusing. It is. I still don't know what they're meant to be. Are they also different? Are they a level above?
They're ancient Digimon.
So is that above Ultimate?
They're more powerful than Ultimate, but I think
So it is.
they're all technically Ultimate level, but they're more powerful than Ultimate. There are 10 of them.
Are these holy beasts?
No, they're all dead.
What?
They're extinct. It's weird they came back from this movie. They shouldn't have. Bokumon was right. They're dead. They can't come back.
Well, they didn't really come back. There were holograms of them.
Yeah, there were like spirits of them, I guess.
By the way, so are they from something?
No.
Is this a thing from Savers?
No. Well, we all remember how at the start of the show when we first found out about Lucymon, there was a big wall with all the symbols of all the spirits.
So
So the spirits that the kids have and the evil spirits have are all descended from the ancient spirits.
So these are the legendary warriors.
Yes,
for
these
real.
are the legendary. These two are the legendary warriors.
The kids have the spirits of them.
Yes.
But these are actually them.
Yes, and
You know the show does a terrible job explaining this that I have to ask you.
yes, I know. I'm glad that I know then. So Agunimon and Burning Greymon are like descended sort of from like that the spirit of the legendary spirit warrior.
This is dumb, but
Yeah.
okay.
Beyond the Boundary.
That
Spirit
show
Warriors.
was good. I
That
finished
was good.
Space Patrol Luluco, by the way. You should watch that.
You know what you should do? You should watch Boku no.
That's an hour and a half for the whole series.
That's not bad.
You should watch it. Just
That's not
put
bad.
it all in your
Okay,
brain.
fine, I'll watch it.
Yeah! I'll watch the first episode with you tomorrow.
Then Naemon says that the legendaries are great, but they should talk more about getting off the island. I'm like, thank you, Naemon. This is in the original.
I swear he says we can't return from the digital world. And I go, what does that mean?
Was that in the dub or the original version?
That's the subtitles, I think.
Did you get the good subtitles or did you get the
I
bad
tried.
subtitles?
It didn't work. You sent me another link to it. I don't know why. I already had this movie. So what does he actually say? Because clearly my version was wrong.
So Naemon says, because I'm guessing Bokumon. So Naemon says, yeah, you should probably tell them about how we can't get off the island. And Bokumon's like, oh yeah, we can't get off the island. That's it. It's not the digital world. It's like we can't return to the digital world
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they include this?
because they're in a different dimension apparently.
No, but like even if you didn't, so the thing is, the reason you include this is for people is so that people like me don't ask, oh, why don't they just leave, right?
Yeah.
The kids were never going to leave. There's a war going on.
Yeah, but it's to explain to the viewers.
But the fact that what you need there is a conversation where they say this isn't our fight, and then someone goes, yeah, it is. And then you have that conversation, which makes them seem like heroes, not like trapped by circumstance.
Yeah.
This legitimately weakens them as a group.
In the dub, Bokumon lies. Bokumon says that they can't leave the island unless they wake up Ornismon.
Yeah, that was weird. And also,
Pretty sure that's not how they're going to do it.
they never mention it ever again.
Yep.
That's the last time it gets a passing mention in Japanese at the end when Bokumon's like, "Yeah, we can get off the island now." But in English, it's like I would like a vacation.
Oh yeah, they cut the ending quite fast in the English version. They cut out a bit. Then a big explosion happens and Digimon start fighting. The beasts are attacking and they're turning Digimon to DigiEggs.
They're
Then
dying.
a straight up tank shows up.
They're all tanks.
I know, but I love it. There's like where do they get this tank? When have Digimon ever had tanks?
I only sort of noticed halfway through the movie how weird that was.
There are Digimon that are tanks.
Yeah. Also, we know that
Shouldn't they be the enemy because there's human, beast, and machine?
there's actually very few machine Digimon in this series, isn't there?
In Frontier, I don't think I've seen any.
Yeah.
Oh, we saw Kapurimon.
So
If that counts.
There's very few. So.
Yep. Kakuamon! No, that's a bug.
We do know from other seasons that Digimon are resistant to tank shells. Human tanks can't do anything to them. So why are these tanks so much better?
Because they're Digitanks.
But that doesn't make any... God.
They're piloted by... Also, they don't fire missiles, they fire what looks to be like just fireworks, because they do make a lot of colours.
They fire big explosives.
Also, the tanks do not feel like they fit in this world. They don't look right.
They're totally different art style.
They're so colourful. They're a completely different art style. They look...
At night, when they're all lit up like disco?
Yeah, it looks like Disneyland makes a Hayao Miyazaki Studio Ghibli movie.
Hey, let me tell you something as a digital tactician that I am.
Mm-hmm.
If you have two sides that traditionally have tanks that light up like disco balls, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you are the smart side of that, at nighttime, when everyone's lit up, turn the lights on your tank off. Opponents won't be able to hit you anymore, and you'll be able to see them.
Yeah, but it's not as pretty.
No, but it's important.
Maybe.
If you're in World War One and you're trying to cross the trenches at night, you don't carry like torches and stuff with you for people to shoot at. Mm-hmm. The opposition has to put up lights to see you. I listened to a big thing about World War One recently.
I can tell. Takuya wonders if the Digimon just committed suicide. I'm like, okay, that's dark.
I thought that was really weird. Like, did I miss something? Because they clearly didn't.
But, well, he doesn't see where the explosion came from, so he thinks that they might have just killed themselves.
Suicide is a weird thing for him to bring up in the first place. Wouldn't he just say, what happened?
We see a Digimon that's Hippogriffamon, which is what Shutumon should have looked like, and it stopped the tank. Then Diarchmon shows up and tells the human Digimon to stop. And what I noticed is, which I found kind of interesting, is that they call her Darkmon's son. Like, they give her an honorific.
That never happens, does it?
We've never seen this. I'm pretty sure we've never seen this happen. I could be wrong.
Oh, quick question.
Yeah.
If you kill a Digimon high up in the air, does the egg fall to the ground and break?
It should, but it doesn't.
So are they unbreakable? Maybe
Digitama, the unbreakable DigiEgg Schmidt.
If Digitama are unbreakable, why wouldn't you strap them to your tank?
Diamond does not uncrash. DigiEgg does not uncrash.
DigiEggs are not on crash. Fair enough. Jojo DigiEgg is unbreakable.
Two things are strong in the Digimon universe. DigiEgg and Izumi Bum.
Fair enough. It can hit anything and still not win.
Yeah. Izumi Bum does not uncrash. Then, yeah, so I just found that as a really interesting thing that they don't usually get these honorifics. And, I don't know, I found it, I might be wrong there, but anyway. Darkmon then says that nothing good will come from all this fighting, and that she's against the fighting, and says that hatred is useless, and then she picks up a Digitama and says, we should pray so this Digitama is revived. In the dub, she doesn't really say much about the Digitama, she just keeps on saying, basically, that fighting will cause more fighting.
Yeah, she's really anti-war.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, get ready for 3 minutes from now.
It's not 3 minutes from now.
Something like that.
Oh, her heel reveal.
No, not her heel reveal. Her big speech of, we have to destroy all the beasts.
Oh, yeah.
She goes from between this on the same day, day to night. Nothing has changed. The last thing that happened was this big battle, at the end of which she said, peace is what we want. We don't want to fight anymore. At that night, she goes, we have to destroy them all right now.
I know it's purely to show the audience that, she's a good guy.
No, this is a red herring.
I know. That's what I said. It's so the audience thinks she's a good guy. But I also want to say, everyone seems to respect her. Hippogriffamon gets Sama at the end of his name. Yeah. And he says the same things and seems to, by Grismon reacting like, oh, finally, I've been waiting so long for you to hear you say that. It seems that they've both been, like, trying to speak peace, and obviously, red herring. But if we think about it as not just trying to tell the audience it's a red herring, but if she's been saying this lovely, fighting isn't good, we should be friends, and all the Digimon seem to respect them, why haven't they listened to them?
So my theory on this, I actually did think about this a bit, was that it probably is a combination of the two things. And I think that it is split in such a way to give the audience an impression that, like, this person's a good person, so that when later they're evil, it's a surprise. But I think what they've probably been doing is they've been saying, war is so horrific, it's so awful, that we probably shouldn't fight. But they've been doing such bad stuff to us. We can't stop now. Like, it's probably they appear upset to have like a moral high ground, but they're also they're not telling people we have to stop, and in so doing they're allowing more atrocities to occur and then talking about how awful those atrocities are.
Yeah.
So peace talk might exist for the audience's sake, why not? And for appearances in general. But if you know that their end goal is for the war to continue, then you have to assume they're doing other stuff, like these speeches where they say, we must eradicate the beast now, or the humans, or whatever.
So in the next scene, we see that Azumi and Kouji are eating fruit, and Azumi says, oh, this one tastes like chocolate. Then Kumon shows up, and we see that Labramon's baby form, which is basically like a Labramon without a body, and Labramon's the dog that evolves to Shutumon, by the way, just so you know.
Sure.
And it's flopping around the table like a huge dork, and I kind of love it. Kumon says that the other Digimon looking for their friends that they lost so they can just stay here and eat more apples.
Everyone's really chilled out about these tank battles that are going around, like, right
Especially
there.
the adorable baby Digimon who are my best friends.
They're
I love
right
them.
there. How are they not evacuating? What happens when armies fight in a city is that everyone in that city evacuates.
The human Digimon show up and start attacking. Grismon moves Kumon out of the way. And so I get mad nostalgia for Kumon/Bearmon and Grismon because in Digimon World 3 I took the pack that had the Kumamon, and Kumamon evolves to Grismon, and it was like my favourite babies, and I love them. And, oh, by the way, just while we're on the topic of the best game ever, Digimon World 2003.
It's not.
Did you know that
I don't.
Kumamon and Gilmon canonically can become Dukamon together?
What? That's random? Why is that?
Because that's what you progress in the game.
That's a bad game, I think.
Hey.
It's a bad game.
Hey, no.
It's a bad game for bad people.
No. Grismon is Kumon's big brother, and I thought that was really cute. And he tells Bearmon to tell Hippogriffamon. In the dub, he tells him to take cover. Then we see Hippogriffamon, and he gets called Hippogriffamon-sama. And it's really interesting that they get the honorifics. We see a Digimon who is actually the adult form of Gotemon, whose name is Dino-Humon.
Is this the shark?
It's the big standing up person, if that's what a shark looks like to you.
You mean the man shark?
Oh yes, you know all those sharks with legs?
The ones with gills and the skin that's that colour and everything? It's a shark,
He's
man.
a dinosaur.
He's a shark.
His name is Dino-Humon. He's a dinosaur Humon.
Also, like, where do they draw the line between what is a beast Digimon and what is a human Digimon?
Shutumon. There's the line.
No, not Shutumon, because Shutumon's just a person.
She's the line.
Like the Frogmons, right?
Frogmons.
What's it called? The little one, the frog.
Geckomon?
Geckomon. Is that human because it's on 4 limbs?
It's beast.
So that's a
I
beast.
think. Yes.
But
Human have to have human look. That doesn't look like have to have human
ding,
face.
Ding, human look.
Human.
What about Centauromon?
That's like Shutumon. It's both.
So wait, no, but Centauromon. What about that one?
Also, I really hope.
Also, yeah, Shutumon is human shaped, but we know they're a beast.
I hate it so much.
So,
look, I hope the listeners actually know what Ding Ding Look is from, because I'm pretty sure I may have mentioned this at some point.
You definitely did.
Okay, long story short, I bought a takoyaki maker. It had English instructions. One of the instructions was to, like, rotate yourself slowly on the fire. Ding Ding Look. An octopus ding, cabbage ding. I think we did a reading, but I can't remember if that was in, like, the edited version or if we'd edited that out in one of the episodes.
I don't know.
Yeah. Die on the stove. Rotate slowly.
I'm trying to remember where the die came in. Die on the stove.
Die on the stove.
Rotate the fire. Ding ding look.
Just die on a stove. Oh, I forgot that existed.
You can die on the stove if you're angry enough.
My fire, rotating, my cabbage, ding.
My octopus, ding.
Ding,
Me,
ding,
ejected from the club.
Me, ejected from the kitchen. Oh, why are you like this? Why did you remember me? Remember Kip?
You're welcome.
There is a lot of editing from this episode, but this bit stays because I feel like everybody, Patreon supporter or not, deserves to know about Ding Ding Look.
My fire rotated, my octopus ding, my cabbage ding, me dead on the stove.
Just kill yourself on the stove and rotate, I don't know. Let's see these crazy Westerners try to cook takoyaki and die.
Have you ever written instructions thinking, I wonder what the fatality count will be?
Yeah, whoever invented CrossFit. Alright, so, yeah.
So they do this big Horrors of War bit where there's a big fight, and honestly, half the episode is, quote-unquote, there's a big fight.
Yeah.
To be real.
To be fair, there's enough plot that it's fine. So
And-
Humon wants Hippogriffmon to come out, and Grismon says that he'll be his opponent. Then the beasts attack, and Humon says that was sneaky, and Grismon retorts that I could say the same about you. So it's because they've both been doing some sneaky stuff. No one's really the good guy here.
Well, no one's a good guy because no one started anything. It's the leaders of both who is the same person.
But they've all been doing some sneaky stuff to each other, clearly.
Well, it's war. That's just what happens. Like in war, someone does something bad to you, and you're like, okay, I can stop now. Or they do something bad to me, so I'll do something bad back, and that goes on forever.
Well, you know what they say? All's fair in love and ding.
Ding and war.
Ding and war, okay.
So much. It was easy.
That's so much better.
It was on the plate for you. Now go die on the stove.
And rotate slowly.
Rotate thy fire. So Hippogriffmon has like this big tear of like, oh no, the horrors of war. And
I really liked this part. I mean, I obviously came in knowing about the twist, but I
didn't.
I really like how dramatic he's like. He's saying this is horrible, and there's all these flashes of all the death that's occurring,
and all these explosions, and like it is legitimately horrible.
It's a really good scene as well. And
Too bad the way they follow it up.
So he says he can't keep quiet anymore and that they have no choice but to fight the human Digimon. In the dub, he says that it has to be stopped, and the only way for it to ever stop is to destroy their enemy.
Isn't that during the nighttime he
No.
says that?
This is him saying it just to them, but then he makes a big speech of it later.
That's in English.
Well, this is in the dub. He says that we have to destroy them. This is sort of like the moment in the original where he's like, we have no choice but to fight. But in the dub, he's like, yeah, let's just destroy them. Let's make them die on the stove and ding.
I really got the sense of like, oh, the horrors of war. It's really awful. There's all these explosions and dudes dying. I also wonder if the Digimon would act differently around the humans if they knew that humans don't come back. Because war in the digital world is not such a bad thing because no one really dies. Imagine if in war in real life, right, you shot someone in the face and it became a baby. Not only did it become a baby, but it became a baby who will be fine, and you don't have to feed or anything. You can just leave there, and they'll be fine. Eventually, they'll grow up.
Also, what I like about all the Digimon dying is that we get to see all the DigiEggs, and they're the DigiEggs that we've seen that the Adventure Kids have.
I never noticed
because
them.
of all the paths, everyone does evolve into those, and it's just
they all look the same.
I know
to me.
some of the DigiEggs are just the same as the Adventure Kids. Like, oh, that one was Agumon, that one was Gabumon. It's interesting to me personally.
So now, I got my primary question of this episode, honestly, is the most jarring things in it, and even the worst, something that
You said episode.
this movie, and something they keep bringing up, sort of in references, mostly through Takuya, is you've just gone from this horrible war scene, which is nothing we've ever seen in Digimon before, and it's legitimately meant to be harrowing, of like, this is really dark and things are really bad, and then you get, we're going along a pond, oh, we all fell in, no, we're sneezing, what is this, what's this tone, what is happening?
And it's quite a beautiful setting as well, but I think it's to show that the baby Digimon and Kotomon, there's no war for them. They're not involved in this war. It's not their war. It's the war their brothers are having. But they're happy. They're enjoying their life.
That makes the war less important, which means the plot of the show is less important.
Yes.
The plot of the movie is less important.
Please don't call Bakumon not important.
No, but like this scene makes it not important.
No.
Why would they put this in here? This advances nothing.
Yeah.
They fall in, he gets a sneeze, and then they never talk about it again.
The sneeze is the most important thing in this movie because it keeps on happening and it even happens at the end. And I just think it's fun how consistent that is, but battle damage in the episode where Junpei evolves to his beast spirit, and for some reason they just have flip-flopping damage, so I just find it funny that a sneeze is more consistent than battle damage.
And flip-flammage.
Flip-flammage. In the dub, instead of just silence, they're all talking about how they're going to find their friends. And when they all have the bit of snot drip, they all just laugh. But in the dub, because Kotomon doesn't have a mouth, he says,
or nose.
"Hey guys, you're all leaking." "Oh, me too." Ha!
So you must have them. It's just in shadow.
Yeah, but we don't. Not a visible mouth.
No. Oh, because he can say whatever he wants.
Yeah, it's the dub's field trip day.
But yeah, this is an emotional whiplash of a scene. It's uncomfortable, but not in like an interesting way.
And then it immediately goes back to war, when all the kids meet up, and Azumi says that Takuya and the others are wrong, and that the human Digimon attacked out of nowhere. And Takuya says that the beast Digimon did the same thing. Bokumon and Nemon are looking back and forth, and it's like this most adorable thing that's like, you need to look exactly at them, but they're just like, and like they've got their arms out, and they're kind of like pointing, like, but this, huh? It's adorable. Kouji is really annoyed that Takuya and the others are siding with them. In the dub, Kouji actually insults the human Digimon and says that they deserve to be destroyed, which is kind of dark.
Yeah, like, I feel like in the in the Japanese, they're sort of referencing it. They're like, oh yeah, I think the humans are right. Oh, I think the beasts are right. And then they sort of start arguing because they already had tension going on, and this is just an element of that. In the English, it's full on like, I hate you and your opinions on this specific issue.
Takuya in the original...
Sneezes on Koji's face. Yeah. Sorry, I mean K-Blue's face.
Takuya in the original says that if he keeps on insulting the human Digimon, he won't forgive him. And Kouji says, well, I won't either. And then they start fighting. Junpei cheers on Takuya, but Azumi wants them to stop. In the dub, JP still cheers on Takuya, but Zoe tells JP off for encouraging him, and JP sarcastically says, oh yes, we should just stand back and watch Kouji defend barbaric monsters. And then Tommy cheers him on and says, go JP! It's like, why was this extra bit needed? Why do we need them to fight as well? I like the fact that Azumi is sort of like, not sure about the whole thing. Like, she doesn't actually want to punch anyone about it. So yeah, Takuya sneezes on K-Blue, which is Kouji's new name. Kodomon and Kumon tell them to stop, and they start crying, and they say that they're friends, and they'll get in trouble if they get caught.
We're best friends.
Yeah, in the dub, they say best friends. It's adorable. Okay, I just love them so much. Then they say, if you keep our secret, we'll promise to show you something cool. So they do, and then they start praying to Ornismon. Bokumon's trying to read the hieroglyphics, and can only read
the digicode.
The digicode.
Is this the first time we've ever seen?
No, the digicode is... Okay, so it's annoying that they keep on flip-flopping with what they call the digicode, because it's clearly meaning the digicode within the DigiEggs, as we've heard before, which is called fractal code in the English version. But they still call it digicode in this version, in this movie, which is weird. So they're referring to the digicode meaning the data from the fallen DigiEggs.
I thought they were talking about...
But they think it's about assembling, like, the wall, and it's, yeah.
We're going to build the wall. It's going to be the best wall. It's going to have a big bird on it.
And Ancient Garurumon and Ancient Greymon. So the hieroglyphics say, digicode will awaken the wings of the seabird. In the dub, it says, return the digicode to the wings of the bird.
Okay.
Takuya says if they figure out a meaning, it may stop the fighting. In the dub, he says that maybe that Ornismon's sleeping, and he needs the digicode to wake him up.
Ah, big sleepy.
Humon shows up, and he throws a knife at them, and...
He just tries to kill him.
He throws Kumon to the side, and it's the most heartbreaking thing ever.
How could you? His hat says bears.
Oh my gosh, it does. They all start fighting, and they're all calling each other oppressive and horrible. In the dub, they're just saying how sick of each other and how much they hate each other.
This was the time in the episode I noticed. We still don't know why they don't like each other.
No, it's because they don't. They're not... It's because of the war that we knew happened before Frontier.
No, but
which Lucimon stopped, but then went evil.
No, but like, these if you asked them, why are you fighting, could they cite a reason besides, we are fighting?
Human Digimon and Beast Digimon are said to, like, inherently be enemies.
But that's not an answer they would give you, right? Because they wouldn't say we're slaves to our nature.
In this, they're basically being forced to fight each other.
No, I know that's... Yeah. I know that's the twist. But if you asked Dino Humon, what was the reason you guys began fighting?
Because they're attacking us.
Okay, why have they done that?
Well, if you ask Grismon would say, because they're attacking us.
Okay, if you ask the beasts then, how did it begin? They attacked us? Somebody had to be the first to go.
I think it would be something along the lines of Diarchmon or Hippogriffmon would say, hey, they're planning an attack. We have to plan an attack back in advance.
Okay, but so somebody had a preemptive strike.
I know they didn't say that, but what if they were both going to attack each other, but... It's the old sort of thing like, oh, so-and-so wants to talk to you, and then you tell the other person, hey, so-and-so wants to talk to you, so they both talk to each other. It's the same thing like, oh, so-and-so wants to invade, let's fight them before they fight, and then you say the other thing, so they both meet at the same point, thinking that the other's going to attack,
Look,
and they both attack.
But I'm wondering if...
It's not said.
If it's like, oh yeah, 300 years ago we thought one of them had Digi-Oil, so we went over there. And just no one remembers anymore. But, like, it'd be interesting if you asked them what they think the beginning is.
Oh, I have no idea.
But they never cover it because I don't think there's a good answer.
No, I think my answer was alright.
Yeah, your answer's fine, but I don't think the writers had a good answer.
We need to look at Bokumon's book, it would say.
I mean, Bookemon.
Bokumon. Takuya throws down Danahumon's knife. In the dub, Takuya and Kouji keep saying no more, and they evolve, instead of it just being silence. So they spirit evolve to Gunimon, and Kouji evolves to Gurumon. So they're using the human spirit and the beast spirit. And in the original, I really like the music that's playing. In the dub, it's just the normal music. Agunimon tackles the human, and Garumon tackles the beast. In the dub, as they tackle, they both say no more. So they keep on saying no more. I don't know why. It's like never more. They both think they're the Raven.
Quoth the Takuya, no more.
Quoth the Gurumon, never more.
That actually
no more.
did happen in WCW. Chris Benoit was fighting Raven, so he had a promo.
Oh, that's adorable.
Chris Benoit was his nickname was the Crippler.
Yep.
So he goes, quoth the Crippler, no more.
And then he killed his family. That's really uncomfortable.
Yeah. At least one of his sons is still alive.
Woof. Well, I'm so glad he only killed one of them and his wife.
Also, that son is a wrestler now for some reason.
Woof. Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Your father had too many concussions.
He still
and
wrestles
killed
under
everyone.
the name Benoit.
Ooh. No, I guess not for WWE.
Well, yeah, obviously. Oh, yeah.
So yeah, I'll put in the show notes, but if you want to read the saddest story you've ever read in your life...
Maybe they can look it up themselves.
No, because I'll put in the show notes, because the link dump or whatever I'm calling it now.
WCW. It's a wrestling.
Grismon and Danahumon tell the younger ones to come with them, and... So this is just Romeo and Juliemon, right?
Sort of, except that they're small children and they're both dudes, probably.
They're Digimon.
They're Digimon.
Two houses, both alike in dignity. In diginity. Diginity. It's dignity, but it's for digi.
Okay, fair enough. Dignity.
In fair digital world where we lay our scene.
I don't know the intro to Romeo and Juliet, so that was pretty good.
Oh yeah, they made us. They made us know it. I also know the hand me my sword, and in the modernized version, he reaches for a gun.
In the Baz Luhrmann one,
get me my horse. It's a helicopter.
in the Baz Luhrmann one, the guns
That's what I'm
have
talking about.
sword written on them.
Yeah, I know. That's the one I'm talking
It's a
about.
sword 45.
Yeah.
And the broadsword that above the mantelpiece is a shotgun.
Yeah,
I love that. It's so funny. I should watch that again. It made no sense.
I liked it. I think it's on Netflix. Anyway, so Tomoki has a glowing thing in his hand, and he says there's something on it. In the dub, he just thinks it's cool. We never actually see him do anything with this. It's implied that he uses it on the wall later on, but we never actually... I guess it encourages him to
piled
stay.
in.
I know it encourages him to stay or something. I don't know. Kotomon and Bearmon are calling out each other's name. It's kind of adorable and heartbreaking.
Nah.
It's The Lion King 2, which is also Romeo and Juliet. In the dub, they just say sorry to each other as they pass, and then they call out their names.
I'm so dying.
Me too.
This is really long, actually.
Yeah, no, I took a lot of notes.
Not that much stuff happened, though.
I actually didn't hate this movie. We'll get to our thoughts later, though. Darkmon's talking to the human Digimon and says they should fight because they can't withstand the oppression any longer.
She said 6 hours ago in this time in their timeline, and 2 minutes ago for us, we shouldn't fight anymore. War isn't working.
We should pray for these Digitama. Nope, let's die more.
Let's kill them.
Takuya is distracting Danahumon by saying how Diakmon said that they can let him join since he has the power of Ancient Greymon. In the dub, Danahumon just offers him working together and he just wants to talk about how he is the descendant of Ancient Greymon instead of him saying, "Hey, so Diakmon said I should join because of this." We then see that Hippogriffamon is saying the same sort of thing, but he's saying
More aggressive.
instead of because of peace. He's saying, because of justice, we should destroy the human Digimon. So, even though, plot twist, they're the same Digimon, they both have different standpoints of it. One saying, look, we have to fight because we're fighting to withhold the peace, which isn't really what
So I feel
fighting
like
does.
the humans were talking about something like oppression.
Yeah, the humans were saying, look, this is oppression. We can't withstand this. The only way to fight, to do this is for peace. And the Beast Digimon are saying, this is for justice. They have wronged us. They are wrongdoers, and we can't just stand by and let them do wrong. We have to fight for justice.
So are the human ones freedom fighters? Because then I think maybe K-Blue's on the wrong side here.
Yeah, maybe. In the dub, they'd say they have to punish the human Digimon for their crimes. We don't really say what the crime is, but, you get the idea that they're for justice. And that's what I kind of like about this movie, is they're not just saying, they're not just, fighting for the same thing. They're fighting for different reasons, because they've got the different personalities, even though it's the same Digimon.
You're right. Equally different, but equally vague reasons.
I'm just saying. Grismon asks Kouji if he will fight for Hippogriffamon as a descendant of ancient Garurumon, and he refuses, because it has nothing to do with him. In the dub, it's the same, and Kouji says that it's not his problem. Kouji then sees Junpei, sneaking around, and Kouji says, hey, I might join. In the dub, he says, it might be fun, which is completely out of character for Kouji, to say, it might be fun.
But that said, he's in a surprising situation. I can't hold anything he says right there against him, except when he turns and he winks and he's like, I know what I'm doing. He
cuddles Grismon, by the way, and it's adorable.
Yeah, he gets in there.
Grismon grabs him and hugs him, and then he cuddles into Grismon. It's Grismon looks so cuddly.
I want everyone to keep in mind the idea that K-Blue turned, winked, and was like, I know exactly what I'm doing, I have a plan.
Right where Grismon can see him?
No, behind him, it's fine.
Oh, okay.
But just keep in mind that's what he did, alright?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what his plan is. Now let's move on, and I'll bring it back.
Kouji is with Dinohuman. No, not Kouji. Takuya is with Dinohuman, and the kids are helping Kumon and Kotomon find the missing pieces of the wall, and Takuya is still sneezing. Then, we keep on jumping between the characters at this point. Tomoki, Izumi, and Junpei are actually doing something kind of useful, and Tomoki says he's good at jigsaw puzzles. In the dub,
I'm the jigsaw puzzle champion!
They keep on referring to the middle pieces of Digicode, which I guess they would think that's what it's referring to, even though it's referring to the Digitama eggs. Bokumon and Naemon say that the battle is starting and they must hurry, and Izumi tells them to help, so they do, and Naemon says, it looks like fun! And then we hear an ow, so I guess Bokumon pulled his pants. I'm like, Bokumon, that was kind of mean. He was just saying it looks like fun. I know it's important, but at least he's saying it looks like fun. In the dub, it's much more understandable why Bokumon hurts Naemon, because Naemon says, can we use our feet too?
My favourite thing that is said here is, how do you return Digicode to a picture? I'm sorry, how do you return it to a bridge, or a mountain, or a continent?
Or the lake.
That too.
Bokumon starts to read, but the wall's knocked down because the battle begins.
This is a tank shell. Totally at random. There's no one visible around there. They just fired a stray shell
no one
at
actually,
them.
no one else got injured. It just sort of shook a little bit.
It was just there to delay them putting the puzzle pieces together. Which, in 2 minutes, they will have not only got back to where they were, but also totally completed.
Yeah, but there's a bit more I want to say about that than why that scene's stupid, but we'll get that in a second. So, Bokumon says that all he was able to read is hatred. In the dub, all he was able to read is fear. The battle starts, Takuya runs off. In the dub, Dinohuman says that if Diacmon doesn't show up, Agunimon can lead them. Hippogriffamon is nowhere to be seen. Kouji tells Grismon to stop the absurd battle.
Here we go.
Yeah.
So, the battle's underway. People are dying. This is actually about 2 minutes into it.
And then he says, oh no, stop now.
Kouji goes, wait, no, don't.
Yeah.
Stop, come on. This was his wink, I've got an idea. Trust me, I have a plan. Was to stand by for 2 minutes and then go, hey, no, come on. And then the big bear went, no, we're going to keep going. And he goes, oh, damn it. That was his big plan.
Yep.
What did they animate him winking? What was he doing?
I think he was just saying, look, I watched Digimon and now I'm a furry.
It's total nonsense. I can't wrap my head around it. Wink, I'm going to suggest, not even particularly firmly, that he stop.
Anyway, so then Grismon says that that Kouji does not understand, and Kouji says that Grismon doesn't understand how Bearmon and his friends feel. In the dub, Kouji says that Grismon can stop this, and he asks him why doesn't he do something, and if any more people get hurt, it's his own fault. Even though he uses the word people to refer to Digimon, I don't know.
Question. I thought I was going to bring it up at the end, but I'll bring it up now. Why don't the kids use their ability to go from human-type Digimon to beast-type Digimon and, like the bad guy, manipulate the sides? Well, not manipulate, but, communicate with the two sides through those lenses? They never do. It is so convenient that he doesn't become Vertramon the first time, and, oh no, he's a beast. No, he became Agunimon while the other one became a beast, which is much more useful.
I think that's fair, because they were showing that the human needed to attack the beast, and the beast needed to attack the human.
They both become the most powerful one, which is the beast, and then they just both do their own goals.
No, I like how the fact that it was thought out, and they were trying to... Because if the beast attacked the human, they'd say, hey...
Really?
That's just what the fight's on.
You think Takuya thought about that?
I feel like the writers thought about it.
The writers aren't these small children.
Okay, So it makes no sense for them to not become the strongest, but it makes sense for the writers to make the...
Yeah, no. It makes sense for the plot to work.
Yeah, no, but I feel like it's a good idea.
You're right, that is the script.
But if you think about it on the ground, the kids probably wouldn't think about, oh, we have to make it do this or else it'll just upset people.
This scene is actually written on the back of Vertramon's wings. You just can't see it because he's not involved in that episode, in that scene.
It's actually written on the back of Shutumon's head. Anyway... So Takuya and Kouji watching all the death, so they evolve, and this time Takuya Beast Spirit evolves and Kouji just Human Spirit evolves. And yeah, they should have just fixed the whole problem by having Shutumon evolve, because we can't actually tell if she's human or beast, because she's a beast that looks human, so that's problem solved, right? That stops all the fighting.
Sure.
In the dub, Darkmon comments on why the Digimon are just standing there instead of fighting and attacking, and they say you should destroy anyone who opposes you. This is another one of those times where the dub points out a bit of, less than stellar animation of just, the Digimon just standing there instead of attacking. And I'm so happy for this. Bokumon goes to read again. In the dub, Bokumon comments on how the kid stopped holding it before he was done reading. And this is what I was talking about a bit earlier. So they were holding it up saying, oh, if we let go, it'll fall apart. Then they let go. It doesn't fall apart. It just so annoyed me.
It looked, maybe because the place was shaking at the time?
Yeah, but... I also like how, in the dub, Bokumon comments on, the kids just let go before he's done reading. And thank you. I like it when they comment on things that happen in the animation that don't 100% make sense.
Maybe.
So we learn that Ulcinmon isn't a peaceful deity at all. And if the battle continues, it could be resurrected. Kotomon and Bearmon say the mural still isn't completed, and they have to revive the ancient Greymon and ancient Garurumon. Junpei points out something, and it looks like Darkmon's staff and Hippogryphimon's pendant. Bokumon says it's no use to continue because ancient Garurumon and ancient Greymon aren't coming back because they're dead. In the dub, he doesn't have this, pessimistic outlook. Bokumon says that he's sad because he doesn't know why anyone would want to cause so much death in the first place.
Fair enough.
Which, that's fair enough, but, I kind of like how he's pessimistic and saying, oh, these kids, they think they're going to come back, but they're not. They're gone. And I kind of like that.
I don't know. Didn't really give me much of an impression.
We see Izumi and Junpei, walking up some stairs, looking around a corner. As Izumi hits Junpei down the stairs with her bum.
Yep, it's the most powerful weapon in the digital world.
For no reason, by the way.
And they see Darkmon run by and become Hippogryphmon.
Yeah. And guess what? They actually did something useful. Aren't you happy?
It's pretty good. It's fairly useful.
Then Junpei and Izumi remember that they're main characters and they can spirit evolve as well, despite not doing it any of the other times that would have been relevant. Blitzmon stops the tank, and then he and Fairymon tell everyone about how Hippogryphmon and Darkmon are same Digimon. Hippogryphmon slide evolves in front of everyone, and honestly, it's quite interesting that they use slide evolution, which we've previously only seen being used between the human spirits and the beast spirit.
That's what's happening.
Spirits, this isn't a spirit Digimon, this is a real Digimon.
Well, it could be a spirit Digimon.
Well, we don't know that.
This is an 11th one that you'll never see or hear from again.
Yeah, it's the plot. It's the spirit of plot.
Yeah, no, spirit. It's the spirit of miracles. Come on.
Oh my gosh! Please, no. And I just want to point something out. So this is the first time I've seen this in Japanese. I've already previously I'd only seen it in English when I was a kid. And I was kind of saying, oh, I wonder what they use instead of slide evolution, because maybe they just don't say anything. They just use slide evolution.
Yeah, because it's a spirit. So here's the thing. Mm-hmm. The plan of this Digimon is to kill enough things that they all kill each other enough that there are enough DigiEggs to put into the painting. Mm. Was she literally 2 minutes away from revealing herself anyway?
Yeah,
because there were enough eggs to wake up Ornismon to begin with. They don't even seem upset. They're like, oh, but I did it.
Yeah.
And not in a Watchmen way, I did it 36 minutes ago. More of a, oh, you revealed my plan? Well, I was ready anyway.
I was going to quit anyway. You can't fire me.
Yeah.
In the dub, I feel like she actually says, "Thank you for revealing me. Now I can go about my plan." This was part. So in the dub, what I took from this is that they're actually saying this was part of my plan.
No, I couldn't stop lying until someone exposed me. Thank you for figuring it out.
Basically saying, so the kids being there is all part of my all according to Keikaku.
That kills me.
So she reveals that one day she showed up on the island and she found out about Orsunmon and how he was a demonic Digimon in ancient times who rampaged through the digital world, and how ancient Greymon and ancient Garurumon defeated him and sealed him. Darkmon then tries to revive Orsunmon with 8 minutes left of the movie.
Wouldn't someone...
Let me tell you, when there's 8 minutes left of a movie that doesn't really fit in the timeline, you kind of go, yeah, that's no suspense. That guy's going to die in 8 minutes.
So why don't they tackle her while she's doing the big explanation?
That's always the thing. Like, why, when someone's making the big evil speech, just shoot them, right? Like, same with Evolution. While she's slide Evolution, just punch her.
And it's not like no one was prepared. There are tanks who could have just shot her.
Also, like...
If Diaboromon can shoot you in the middle of an evolution, you can shoot her in the middle of a 2-minute speech.
You know what I like about her?
Nothing.
Technically non-binary. Gender-fluid Digimon. Hey. I like that. I like your face. So... Tamaki also remembers that he can evolve because he's also a main character. And then the dub uses some music that we're not going to hear for about 30 episodes.
Wait, no. What's more important
No, Jay. No, real talk. They use the wrong music.
Like, I didn't notice.
No, okay, but I noticed because this is the same evolution music as when Omegamon was giving his power to Imperialdramon Fighter Mode to become Imperialdramon Paladin Mode.
Right.
So it's that same music. It's the dramatic, like, this is the final evolution music, and they use it for Chuckamon.
Well, more importantly, I think, is he's like, oh no, this is horrible, and then his evolution sequence goes, yeah, I'm so happy.
What annoys me about Digimon is that they rarely change the evolution animation to fit anything. They don't ever put in battle damage. They just use the same stock animation. And not even for the movies, they don't make them look different. And I feel like that always is a bit annoying because they might going from like crying, then all of a sudden, I'm all happy.
You know what would have been really funny is if this had happened. If he got that full animation sequence in the episode where he was mind controlled and and doing his dream thing,
Yeah.
So he's like eyes are closed, but he's like, I hate you all. You're all trying to kill me, and then it cuts to him like, yeah, evolution time.
Yeah, but they skipped that.
Oh my god.
Though I think Tamers might have, because I remember there was a part where they sort of like say card slash, and they're like really sad about it because they've lost all motivation. I feel like they might have changed the animation. Maybe they definitely changed their voices.
It's weird.
But I can't remember if they changed the
Tamers
animation.
does not feel like it was done by the same company.
Well, it wasn't in the English version.
Adventure and 02 and Frontier all feel like they are made by the same company, but Tamers doesn't. Tamers feels like a different
Different writer.
a different writer,
This writer
different
has got
animation
dark.
studio.
Yeah.
It is only connected vaguely by the name Digimon and some of the concepts.
So Orsunmon is reborn, and Darkmon evolves to Murmixmon and rides
Why
Orsunmon.
does it evolve?
And because, well, I don't know.
So why would waking that guy up make you evolve?
Maybe she could the whole time, but because Murmixmon is too demonic looking, it doesn't look like a human or a beast, it looks like a demon.
Are you
Maybe
telling
that's
me
why.
that Digimon can often evolve at will?
Well, this one can.
Besides slide evolution.
This one can? I feel like she always can. I feel like she has a lot of power.
What? If she had that power already, why would she need to summon Ornusmon?
Because she wanted a cool mount.
Come on, man.
She paid those money dollars to get the premium mount.
Come on.
I am. I'm being real talk.
No. Come on.
No.
What? No.
Speaking of come on, like seriously, Fairymon, stop doing your love tap
Can we
to
just-
like powerful Digimon.
Can we just cut to, oh yeah, it loses the fight?
Yeah, it loses the fight, for one thing, which she just sort of shows up in its face, does her little, like, look at my butt, I'm gonna spin, spins a little, love taps, dies.
The love tap is full camera. Full screen butts.
Yes.
Also, we'll just skip to it. Like, Garurumon and Greymon rise up from whatever as holograms and kill him.
I've got bits before
you
that.
can run through it. But just let me say quickly,
Yeah.
I really get the feeling about this episode, the way they were introducing them and everything, they were really, really thinking of having
Takuya
Burning
Kouji,
Greymon and Kendo Garurumon become them for a bit. And I'm thinking, Hurricane Touchdown? Yeah? Big evolutions you'll never see again?
Yeah,
Huh?
no, I see what you mean.
They were going for
Have
it.
you also noticed that the Japanese title just says that the ancient Digimon get revived?
I mean,
Revival of the ancient Digimon?
for a short period of time.
Yeah, but it's still
Look,
sad.
if here's the deal, right? If your friend died, right, and you were a necromancer, sure, I don't know, it's a weird example, and you brought them back for a day, you did revive them.
Okay, good point, yeah. So Kotomon is crying for Ancient Greymon and Ancient Garurumon, and then Kotomon jumps in front of Orsunmon's attack, for no reason, might I add, and dies.
Yay!
Kumon cries out for Kotomon.
Yay!
Then Ancient Greymon and Ancient Garurumon show up, and the egg starts glowing, and then the baby Digimon grab Kumon and start pulling him on. They say, come on.
Oh yeah,
Get it. I guess the dub made that joke.
Everyone on both sides.
Yeah.
On the human end, they're all like,
no, because
oh
the
no.
babies are friends. The babies
no,
are friends.
Even the Beast Digimon are like,
yeah,
oh no, Kotomon.
okay. Yeah, that part, yeah.
Why do they care?
Yeah, they shouldn't care. They hate
A
each
single casualty that stops an entire battle.
Yeah, they're worried about this one death after the countless ones. It's weird. So then in the dub, Bearmon is very upset about them touching him. He's like, come on, guys, I just want it, just let me mourn.
He's like K-Blue.
In the original, he's just sort of like going, oh, this is, he's making uncomfortable grunty noises. In the original, Kumon cheers about Ancient Greymon and Ancient Garurumon being reborn. In the dub, he says, Kotomon did it! Hail Kotomon! Like, what the? Alright, buddy. The tanks are then helping fight Orsunmon now, and they sort of like cut the cage that the ancient Digimon are in.
The big vein cage.
Which, I didn't notice this, but where did this come from?
Oh, it just formed when Ornusmon showed up.
Oh, okay.
Because it's not a cage, no, it's not a cage around them. It's a cage around the whole island. For no reason.
Oh, okay.
It is only there,
for the plot. Right, I get it.
It's only there for the tanks to go up and shoot at Ornusmon.
It looks cool when all the tanks are going up, let's be real.
Yeah, makes no sense though.
So
Ancient Greymon and Garurumon instantly kill Ornusmon with no
instant
difficulty.
Death.
Also, they nuke the island.
Yeah, no, they do. And peace is restored by nuking the island.
Everyone dies, and also they're all fine.
Nairmon and Bokumon float down the umbrella, which is somehow back, I'm not sure how, and then says that the island is back in the digital world. In the dub...
Were they always in the digital world?
Bokumon, in the dub, says that they should have an island vacation, and Azumi says they should offer to clean up first. Kouji says that they should start with his shirt. Takuya apologizes, and then the English version ends here.
Hey, what were those glowing green strings that were attaching the island to the sky?
The plot strings. So, in the original, the movie continues, and Takuya says that he guesses the island doesn't need to wander anymore. And then one of the characters, and I have no idea which character, because I replayed this multiple times, I cannot tell which character says this, but one of the characters says, "Look at you," saying that so diligently. And then Takuya tells him to shut up, and then sneezes. And then we get the cutest closing credit scene ever, and it's the new mural that's been set up, probably by Kumon. And it's got the Digimon being friends, and Kumon's looking at it, and Kotomon was revived, and it was and like they run and hug, and then the next scene, which we get the Owari sign on, is it's so cute. It's Kotomon and Kumon hugging, and it's adorable. No. It's part of the mural. It's like friends,
best friends.
What do you think of this movie as someone who is new to Digimon?
I don't know. I just didn't like it very much. It was the best part of Frontier.
This and the what were the Tomoki's Beast Spirit episode, Korikakamon episode.
It made me go, that was clever.
I liked this movie. It's not as good as that war game.
And visually, it's appealing. Except for when it was doing 3D shots of the island, and there was CG, and that was really bad.
Yeah, no, those were bad. It looked a bit like PlayStation 1, which to be fair was the graphics for the time, so that was probably amazing back then.
No, it wasn't.
But I found that this movie was definitely better than the Tamers movies.
Yeah, I mean, the Locomon movie wasn't a movie. That's an episode.
Yeah, it was a filler episode. I feel like maybe it's as good as the Locomon episode, but it was longer.
So this is a big filler episode as well.
Yeah, because while the Locomon movie was, I believe, like 20-something minutes, it was only as long as an episode. Yeah. It was better than the Shutumon movie, I think.
Yes, because the Shutumon movie didn't make any sense.
It was,
and this one has the privilege of making sense.
It was better than Hurricane Touchdown because it wasn't all over the shop. It had a coherent, consistent plot, including consistent sneezes.
There's a lot of questions it asks, and at the end of the day, it's actually quite simple, and parts of it are not that entertaining. But if you're not looking at it from an analytical perspective, especially, and I was forced to, it's probably more enjoyable than even I saw. And it has bits to it. Honestly, when you see the tanks all lit up at night, that's fun.
It's also very pretty.
Yeah.
Like, what I always like about the Digimon movies is that they really, make it look good. The exception being, I think...
The Shutumon one sucked, didn't it?
Pardon?
And the Locomon one was boring.
The Locomon had the same animation style as...
It was a little bit better.
Digimon Tamers, but a little bit better. The Shutumon movie had that same sort of, like, slightly different look to it.
The only thing that movie had was Gilmon stuffed in a suitcase.
I just want to watch our War Game again, because that is probably my favourite Digimon movie.
I don't want to watch it again. I don't want to watch Digimon again. I would like to move on.
Well, I have plans for Odaiba Day, you see. I have plans, which I'm not sure if I mentioned to you or not. I should probably mention it to Mitch and Matt.
Oh, I'm depressed now.
It's okay, they'll be depressed too. Anyway, so I liked this movie. It's probably the best part of Frontier that we will see. I don't like how, as always, the useful ones are Takuya and Kouji, even though in the end of the day, actually they didn't really do much. Koutomon dying did everything.
Yeah, he activated it with his death,
Yeah.
which he totally knew was going to happen, you have to assume.
But the main dramatic bits were because of Takuya and Kouji. Sure, Izumi and Junpei did discover Darkmon's secret, but it seemed like she wasn't that upset about being discovered anyway.
Yeah, that leaves Tomoki with nothing.
But this was the best part of Frontier, and from memory, I think this is as good as it gets.
That's depressing.
Well, as I said, I really enjoyed watching this now. I think I remember feeling it was okay when I first watched it when I was a kid, but now I'm just like, no, this was enjoyable. I liked the plot. I found it was pretty deep, actually. It was good. What'd you rate this movie?
7.
I gave it a 7. We agree. Oh my gosh.
There we go.
I don't give it a 7 point anything. I just give it a 7. It's not like the 7s that I've given to previous episodes of Frontier that we've watched. This is like an actual, like, legitimate 7. Because all my other 7s, Jay said 4.
This is a
5.
This is a non-Frontier 7.
And yeah, no, I feel like if this was Tamers, and you could easily see this happening in Tamers, because a lot of the filler that we had in Tamers was sort of like, oh, a thing's happening. I could easily see this as an episode of Tamers.
It could be.
Because it's good. The plot is good. And always Takuya and Kouji are the most useful, but I feel like it wasn't too much as the other kids were crippled by it. What was the major difference that you noticed between the Japanese and English version?
I guess the emphasis on that you couldn't leave the island, and or are we there yet?
Oh yeah, it's always the silences versus the stupid lines, right?
Yeah, that's the battle of the ages. Silence versus filling time.
Though, besides, the adding the dialogue to point out problems in the animation, like, why did you let it go before I finished explaining? Or, why don't you just attack instead of standing there and watching them? I love that. And sure, the bits of silence to add in funny lines, that's fine. It's a kid's show, do that. But besides that, the movie wasn't actually all that different. They didn't have any, like, dramatic things that were just like, this is such an annoying change.
Is it they cut off a bunch of the ending?
Oh, the ending bit, yes. And the credits were adorable and, but...
And now they're gone!
But sometimes the movie was the same. It was still the
This
same
is part
sort
of
of
the
thing.
movie.
Pardon?
If you just cut off big scenes... You know what happens when you cut off that big scene? You never see Kendomon come back.
Yes, you think that you don't know if Kendomon's coming back or not.
That's
yeah.
a significant difference.
Yeah, that's different, but that's like... I'm just saying that a lot of the movie was similar, if not the same. Especially Izumi's humming at the start, being the same song. Why couldn't she have been humming the Digimon Frontier opening in the dub, though? That's what I want to know.
Start rapping.
Now we can talk about where this movie fits in the timeline, because...
I know exactly where it is.
Izumi has her spirit, but we also have...
No, she doesn't.
She uses it, her human spirit. She doesn't have... Her human spirit hasn't been stolen by Grodomon at the moment.
Yeah.
Or she's gotten it back. But...
Wait,
but no,
hold on.
let me continue. Kouji and Takuya both have their beast spirit, but the kids don't have Seraphimon's egg. Izumi never had her spirit while Kouji and Takuya had their beast spirits before we got the egg.
No, they didn't. I just thought it was on the way to the forest terminal, but I forgot she didn't have that Pheromone yet.
So they didn't have their spirits when she had her spirit, right?
Yeah.
But then she got her spirit back the episode after we got the Seraphimon egg.
Yeah.
She got it back in Junpei's episode, which was
Okay.
the episode after the Seraphimon egg acquisition.
So this just doesn't happen.
This is why it was so hard for me to place. I looked everywhere. No one knows where it comes from.
Only alternative. In fact, the only thing that makes any sense, and it's the biggest stretch ever. It's the kind of reasoning you would throw at me, and I'm like, that makes no sense. It is.
The egg is in the umbrella.
No, the egg hatched and is done. That story is over, and they are now here after the fact, and these two only choose... Stop, don't tell me anything because that spoils. Maybe this is wrong, but from my perspective, from what I've seen, they deal with the egg problem, and then they go on a different adventure, and they choose only to evolve these two to beasts, and the other ones could, but don't.
I have future knowledge. That's impossible. There are significant things that would be there if the egg had hatched. One being the egg would have hatched.
Well, yeah.
And we would have a baby.
No, but what do you mean they would have a baby? No, what's his name? A Seraphimon or whatever comes out of it. Yeah? Straight out.
I'm not telling you, I'm just saying that, like,
A Seraphimon
eggs usually
pops out of
hatch
the egg,
into
right?
things. No.
Does
And
Pokemon stuff the baby into his belt? That's so
I'm not,
cute!
we'll find out, but there's also another thing that is added to on the cards by the time when the egg hatched, and they don't
What?
address that at all. And yeah.
Okay, so it's a dream.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually take place. It's clearly just like, let's put them in a setting that is complete. Like, if they haven't seen this movie, no, like the kids who watch won't be affected watching Digimon Frontier because there's no reference to the movie after this point. But this is, I fit it here because it was kind of like things start happening after this movie.
Things are gonna start happening?
In Frontier, maybe.
Finally, things will happen.
So I was kind of like, let's put it approximately here because, yeah, sure, like, we don't know if the other kids have their beast spirits or not, but there's no Seraphimon egg, and Azumi has her spirit. So the most likely situation is that it did happen, like, if we were to put it, it does happen when it either Azumi doesn't have a spirit and they just gave her the spirit for plot convenience, or it does happen after they get the egg between the Waymon episode and the beach episode, and we just forget the egg exists, or Bokumon has it somewhere in a daycare or something. It's not addressed, but one of those things is possible, and so the best place to put it is like after the Virtuamon episode or after the Waymon episode, which is, a few episodes ago still. But I just feel like this is the latest possible part it could be if they do have their beast spirits.
This is the dumbest.
But there's no mention of Seraphimon or his egg. There's no. They say that they're going somewhere, and Kouji's like, we don't have time. So I guess it could be before the forest terminal, but Azumi does not have her spirit.
I'm legitimately interested if you were to ask, like, the director of this movie when he thought it took place. If his answer would be, it doesn't.
Yeah. Probably that would be the answer, because I feel like that's been the answer for other ones. I also want to point out, this is the last movie dubbed into English before Try.
Oh my god, thank god.
So next time when we're covering...
I only have to watch all the other movies once.
Here, would you like to have some more good news for you? The next movie we'll be covering, after Frontier, is Digimon X Evolution.
When is that one? Is that after Savers?
It's after Frontier.
Is it before Savers?
It doesn't actually take place in any, timeline.
Then why are we watching it?
Because it came out between Frontier and Savers, I think.
Okay, well, that sucks,
But we will bring on a friend to watch the movie for the first time.
I'm gonna have to watch it once, and then I can see that stupid crap mummy again from 02.
Mummymon.
Jesus.
Doraemon's in it, though. But we're going to try to rope a friend in to watch it and talk about it with us. So, yeah. So
I'll just die.
So, yeah, this is the last movie that we'll be covering in English. And the next episodes that we cover for movies will be more of our sort of brief synopsis and then more heavier on the discussion because we can't really compare the episode, which is half the show. So we'll be more discussing the themes. So this part, which is our overall episode discussion or episode movie discussion, will have more parts to it and we'll have more to discuss because it'll be a briefer synopsis because we won't talk about every single difference. So yeah, just a heads up. But yeah, so congratulations, we've watched all the movies in English except for Try.
Great.
Which I'm not sure when I'll be able to get my hands on. When I can get my filthy, grubby little hands on to Try, we will cover that.
Keep them away from me. They're grubby and filthy.
They'll be touching Digimon stuff.
Ugh.
I also found that the opening animation wasn't as, high energy as previous Digimon movies have been. We've had, Butterfly or Target, all the kids are doing things. It's just kind of chill, and they're just, on a Mike Wazowski Trailmon.
What are you going to do in the series where all you do is go places by train?
They're on a small train. Which doesn't even look like a Trailmon. It looks like... I'm not even sure if it's alive.
It looked like it would be. It had an eye.
An eye for an eye, a Trailmon for a Trailmon. I don't know where I was going with that.
An eye for an eye makes the whole world get there on time.
So for screenshot of the week, I'm just gonna say
Izumi's butt. Izumi's butt.
this movie had so many good screenshots. The Trailmon at the beginning being like rah with its tongue out. Kouji hugging Grismon. But my favourite, which makes me as mad as it does slightly like amused, is Izumi hitting Junpei with her bum. So it's just so funny because like his face is just like ah, and it's her bum's there.
My dreams come true.
But what's really upsetting is at the end of the day, Azumi's bum did more damage than Fairymon's bum has ever done.
It's really
And that's
true.
the scary fact.
It sometimes looks like it's going to work, and then it just doesn't.
And I'm annoyed because I know your screenshot of the week, and it's sort of like mine.
It's the full screen of Fairymon's ass.
Thank you. I'm so glad.
Ass.
That was needed.
Yes, it is.
For Digimon introducing this movie, there were so many. So we're only going to be talking about the main ones unless you have any particular feelings about
I'd rather not talk about any of them.
Okay, what Katemon?
It's Kendo Man.
Kumamon. Kumamon.
Bears!
Dino
It's actually
Humon.
kind of nice. I thought it was a shark.
He's not a shark, he's a dinosaur. That's a difference. Sort of. They're related, in a way. Grismon.
I actually like it. It's a big bear.
He's like such a good bear. Hippogriffamon.
It's a hippogriff, I guess.
Diarchmon.
Wait.
What?
Is it? It's got a lion, but it's a hippogriff. Yeah.
Diarchmon.
No, it's not.
Get over it.
No, hippogriffmon's just a griffin. A
Yes.
hippogriff has a horse butt.
Yes, yeah, I know.
It's wrong.
Yeah. Diarchmon for the 5th time.
I just keep calling it Angelmon. It looks like an alternate version of Angelwoman.
Yeah. And I vaguely remember we had, I think, an ask on Tumblr or something ages ago when we were talking about who could be a better evolution for Tailmon's Ultimate. And I think someone suggested Diarchmon.
I disagree. I think this thing turns into Angelwoman. Like, it looks like a crap version.
Or maybe it was an alternate for Tailmon. I can't remember it was a while ago. It was like 2 years ago at this point. Orsenmon?
I don't
Purple bird.
It's just a bird, right?
I forgot that it was purple. I thought that it had like a different look to it. I thought it was more of like a Hoomon.
It should be. That was what it
But-
was in the painting.
Yeah, that's why I was so surprised. I'm like, oh no, it's just because it
No, but
looks
it's
too angelic.
evil.
Because it's the red herring of look at this good-looking Digimon, and then we see what actually
You
looks
mean
like.
Phoenixmon?
And yes, and it's demonic.
Which was such a good guy, right?
Myrmixmon, who we didn't really get a clear look at, but
Yeah.
he's pretty evil
That's
looking.
where I'm at.
Ancient Greymon,
Yeah.
it just looks like Burning Greymon, really. Ancient Garurumon,
That's what I got for you.
thank you for your participation.
I'm so tired.
For Postmon Pat this week's question was, is Phantomon cuter with mouth open or mouth shut when it eats? So you can read the comments and I'll get up the results.
Shakmon commented that they like the teeth. Ali commented that they like it closed because it's cuter. That's right.
That's
our two.
Hang on, I'm not voting again because I already voted. And the results are, this got 25 votes, so more than the swimmers one. And mouth closed got 11 votes. Mouth open got 14 votes. Did you vote?
No.
Oh, I voted. So I guess, okay, mouth closed got 12 votes then.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I won, and that's what really matters. Thank you for everyone who participated.
And we have emails. One from SP who says that they appreciate that Tomoki considered the older boys more important and more capable of saving the world. We don't usually see these in characters like him, being the child character. Though it's annoying that he doesn't list Izumi as being important. No, he does not. It's like he considers girls and small children to be weak. I mean, it's hard to pull that out, but at the same time, he doesn't mention her. They said that they enjoyed the last 2 episodes since they were light-hearted. And as for the movie, it's not as enjoyable because Takuya and Kouji did all the work, but the sentiment of the beast versus human fight is enjoyable, and it's strange.
That's arguable, though. I feel like Izumi, Tomoki, and Junpei still had, like, input.
What did Tomoki do?
He built the mural.
They all did it just
I know,
fine
but he
without
was,
him.
like, the champion at Jigsaw Puzzle.
Only because he said so.
But I feel like it's still more input than those 3 characters have been given in Digimon Frontier before. And Junpei and Izumi, they discover the plot twist.
Yeah, by accident.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, it makes them look so strong.
They're looking around a corner because they're like, oh, and then they evolve, so...
God damn it, Triple K Blue is always burying them.
Yeah.
Okay. And Red says, what spirit evolution would you select for yourself, and which one would you assign to your partner in each other's case? Wait, to your partner
As
being
in
you?
As in you
Okay,
to me,
what
me
would
to
I
you.
want...
Okay, I think that you would have Lobomon because you are furry.
Boo! Don't do this to me.
Or Chakamon because you're a furry, but also you're sassy. Pick and choose, or Korikakumon because you're a big furry.
Okay, well, you'll be Fairymon because it would upset you.
At least I'll be
Oh, no,
hot.
you have to pick one for yourself. You have to pick one for
I'll
yourself.
pick. I don't know. I always like Ranamon. I think she's pretty cool. No, but
Randomon isn't an evolution. Isn't a human spirit.
She is.
No, she is. Right.
yeah. Can Avamon because he's cool. Can I just say human spirit or can I just pick spirit?
It just says spirit.
Oh, Petal-Dramon. Duh. I want to be a cool petal dragon. Okay, so I'm not sure I mentioned this, but I'm pretty into the flowers sort of aesthetic. Two of my piercings have really expensive flower jewelry in them because I really like flowers. Because even though I'm pretty masculine, I always think that flowers don't have to be these feminine things. Flowers can be masculine. It depends on how you wear them. And Petal-Dramon is a perfect example of that because Petal-Dramon manages to be turns around that feminine look that flowers have and says it's a flower but it's a dragon. And I also really like dragons, so I'm gonna go with Petal-Dramon for me.
I'd be the mirror dude because he's OP.
Oh yeah, he is OP. What would I have? What do you think I'd have?
I told you Fairymon.
Oh, I thought you just said that to make me upset.
Yes.
Oh, that's very nice. But what about really?
Fairymon.
What about really though?
No, come at me with your butt.
No, Jay. Why would you do this?
This is my answer. If you don't like it, well, you can edit me saying something else.
Well, I'll just
Just if you the spirit I pick for you is Petal-Dramon.
No, I'll do your voice. Petal-Dramon.
Just the full-on computer speaking voice, not even me, and
It's Microsoft Sam.
No, it's like a girl computer voice. Yeah, the one I pick for you is Petal-Dramon. I'm Cortana. How can I help you? Oh no, cut off the recording.
Huh.
I have a story about that to tell you after the podcast.
Okie dokie. And no, well, you know what you'd have? You'd have Sukamon because he's poo.
That's not that's not a spirit.
I know. But yeah, the answer is I would like Petal-Dramon because dragons and flowers are cool and I like them.
Chuckmon says from On With the Will, they always enjoy watching the kids crash land into places. The animations are priceless, and they love the Digimon sort of cameos as its great scene setting. And they love the Japanese Arbamon as well. Dub Arbamon isn't as good, but overall, the English voices aren't terrible. All of the stereotypes and the cheap gags. Takuya uses his goggles in the toboggan, and Tomoki is written well. Tomoki waving goodbye to Izumi as his Trailmon passes was cute. The greatest part of the episode is at the end when Black Wargarurumon its train is disabled and Dogmon makes that laugh and BWG just punches him in the face.
It's
It was
cool.
priceless. And quick notes on May's fanfiction. Hawkmon ordering birdseed pizza was really cute.
Thank you.
And they love the ending music used for that segment. I was going to say, the ending music you wrote into the book. I don't remember reading about that.
So, Chuckmon also asked what the ending segment music was, and it's actually File City from Digimon World, as in the original. But I think I might have used the Digimon World Next Order version because that's the version I legally had. Because the soundtrack came with the game. So that song always gave me a huge buzz of nostalgia because of the Digimon World game, and it's ding 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 ding. I also believe I used it for our Next Order special podcast episode that we recorded.
One from Wildwing64 who says, Tomoki's Focus episode was fine. With the not Space Invaders game machine, they think it would have made more sense for the player character to be Ikakumon, because he shoots missiles from his head. And it would have been a neat, subtle way of foreshadowing the Beast Spirit of Ice. And I like that. That is way better. But at the same time, it's still weird that spirit was in the computer game. But, God, I sound old. I mean the arcade console. They also agree with my idea of Namon coming back from way behind and winning. That would have been way more interesting and much funnier. But Frontier's gonna frontier, even in the filler episode. Digital Guy says, random note, in Space Patrol, Luluko and Alpha Omega Nova share the same voice actors with Hikari and Takeru from Try. I didn't know that.
And now you do, and knowing is half
You'll
the
like
battle.
it more than I assume.
Probably.
I could actually see it with Nova being he's Matt's long lost brother. That guy is.
Well, Takeru is his his actual brother.
I know, but like you can hear it in the voice and the way he acts, and also he's blonde and looks like that in the show.
Canon, it's just Takeru.
It makes no sense for that to be the case, but okay. On Tumblr, actually, if that was the case, and I can't tell you why because spoilers, but that would tell you a lot about Matt, which would be really funny.
I thought you were talking about our friend Matt for a second. I was basically like, what does Matt have to do
I don't know
with
how
this?
you could have drawn that conclusion.
I think about Matt a lot.
So,
what a good friend.
So on Tumblr we got an Anonymon who says that they like that a Fanimon offered them to stop before things got more dangerous. As this is and it's the second time this has happened. They also wishes that Genai did something similar in Adventure, though he never did. And Pidomon has only one pair of wings and is derived from the Cupid, but yeah, he is otherwise a copy of Angemon. It's a bit weird that he would referee a train race like he doesn't have more important things to do.
Yeah, I feel like...
Same with Dukemon in the background.
Yeah, Angemon evolutions usually have something important to do rather than just like, oh, by the way, here's this filler episode.
Yay. We got one from Reddit.
On Reddit?
On Reddit from Bionicle Manf. And they're a little miffed that we didn't reference the comment they made on the podcast episode 84. Do you know what that is?
So a while ago, Bionicle Man made a comment back on our episode 84 about how wondering what we're going to say when we see that Digimon running a store in Digimon, and I wasn't sure what Digimon they were talking about, and they were referring to Dukemon, who was running the store in this one.
Okay. Like, I guess I'm sorry we didn't catch that. But...
I'm really sorry, and I apologize on Reddit. I wasn't sure what Digimon you were referring to, but actually realized...
Edamon? Like, he's there too running the store.
Yeah, I actually thought that Edamon was the Digimon they were referring to initially, because that's the main one. I don't even remember Dukemon being in that when I read that comment, but I actually know a weirder reason about, like, why Dukemon being there is weird. And I said that in the No Jays Allowed channel on our Slack, so it's spoilers. But
patrons only.
If I remember, I will say. But if I don't, at least the people in our Slack know what I'm talking about when I say it's weird. It's really weird.
And Dak and Jackster says, while the gangster voice is fine for Arbamon, they have to agree that Arbamon's little pearls of wisdom were a funny character trait. And it's really good. It's the best thing about him. And it's one of the best things about Frontier generally, which says not much. It's called damning with faint praise. Use it wisely. Alright everybody, join us for the next episode of Inferno Cop. You want fries with that?
Or Save the Bergamon, Tomoki's Pure Heart.
And Ha-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba-da.
Please do it actually though.
From Dawn to Dusk Man.
Or Mystery Warrior Hidden in Darkness, Duskmon. For Weekly Wonders this week, I'm going to recommend Oolong tea because I have I'm hungry all the time because I work out and exercise so much. So, and eating all the time isn't very good considering I work as a software developer, so I'm seated for 10 hours a day at work. So
you work out 7 days a week, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I run 5 kilometers during my lunch break, but the thing is...
So you're seated for 7 hours a day.
But if I were to snack, it'd be unhealthy, and because I'd be snacking on the chocolate biscuits upstairs in the kitchen at work. Enough. So my solution, except it's bad if I walk to the kitchen to get the kettle, is to make myself a cup of a big jug of Oolong tea and leave it in the fridge, because Oolong tea is really good for satisfying appetite because of the bitterness. I don't know, science or something. But yeah, so if you have problems with being hungry all the time like I do, but don't really think it's good to eat all the time, and eat chocolate biscuits and salt and vinegar chips and stuff like that, you should have some Oolong tea. Just buy it from the supermarket or the T2, or I don't know. I think T2 is in England. I don't know. It's in Australia. And
a tea shop.
Or a tea shop, I don't know, wherever you buy Oolong tea. I wouldn't recommend buying, the stuff that's already in the bottle, because that has so much sugar, and at that point you may as well be eating lollies.
I also wouldn't recommend the shirts. The t-shirts.
Oh, shut up. I hate you.
Oh, you look of genuine confusion.
And also, you can... I have, this big tea infuser that I put in the fridge, and it makes it all, the iced tea, but I can, mix my other tea flavours that I have. So I mixed in one called Choc Chip Chai, which is, a chocolatey flavoured. It's still, doesn't have any sugar in it, but it's got, that sort of, cocoa flavour in it, but it's not cocoa because it's tea.
Sure.
And there's another one called Jade Mountain, which is, green tea and stuff. So I added that to the Oolong tea, and it was beautiful, and that's what I had today. and I drank like a lot, and I had to go to the toilet. But I didn't snack, and because I pre-made it at home and didn't make it upstairs in the kitchen, I wasn't tempted by walking past the biscuit box at work.
You also didn't go up and down stairs, so you lost exercise.
No, the toilet's upstairs.
Oh, strong.
I still got lots of exercise going upstairs to the toilet, believe me. And that's my weekly wonder. What about yours?
I went to a nutritionist and I'm on a diet now, and it's sad.
You can't like recommend your sadness.
Everyone go on a diet. Do that. Help me out by being sad with me.
So, but why don't you tell us what you're eating for your diet, and then maybe people can like get an idea. Or maybe you can share it in the Slack or share it online.
I have a 7-day meal plan, which actually hasn't really been that hard to stick to.
Because the meal plan's I looked at it and it's really good because it's not too much of a jump and it's still things you
fine.
like. It's things that like obviously they've taken into account what you want.
Yeah, we talked about it directly. Like, what about this day? But at the same time, I know to myself like. In 2 months, I'm going to be like, I miss what chocolate tastes like, because I will have had none of it.
I know, but maybe at that point in the diet, you're allowed, like, 1 chocolate a week or something.
Maybe, we'll see, but that sucks, honestly. It sucks already, but that sucks more.
I know, but maybe, like, you keep it up with exercise and stuff. You can allow yourself to have a bit of chocolate.
We'll see.
I will have this chocolate, but I will also go on the exercise bike for 3 hours.
That's the worst. That's not a good trade-off. I won't eat the chocolate.
Well, that's how much chocolate takes up in calories.
I mean, sure.
It takes up a lot. Okay, when I eat chocolate, I eat a lot of chocolate, so...
Then we all pay for it.
Yeah, because I'm lactose intolerant. So stay tuned after the outro for Chapter 7 of my fanfic. And the link dump will be linked in the description, which you can also find the screenshots of the week and our weekly wonders, which are also linked in the description, and our link dump. You can contact us and stay updated. You can email us at lostintranslationmon@gmail.com, or you can comment on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter, and you can find us on Lost in Translation on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube. We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit. And we'd really appreciate if you were to review us on iTunes and or Stitcher, or wherever you're listening to this podcast right now. Please review us. Thank you. We also now have a website where you can vote in our weekly poll, which is Kotomon or Kumamon, or Bearmon, I guess, depending on which version. It's Kumamon, obviously, because bears are great. He has a beanie that says bears on it. You can donate to our Patreon, which is linked in the description, from as little as $1 per month. $1 a month gets you access to our listener Slack chat group, but higher levels get you exclusive notes, information, early and unedited episode recordings, the ability to suggest discussion topics both on topic and off topic, Skype calls with May and Jay, and more. Our next Patreon milestone will allow us to increase the quality of the content that we provide.
And thank you to all of our Patreon supporters. Sam Krieger, who hosts a podcast called The Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon. Stevie, who's also Stevie on YouTube, and you can find the link to their channel in the description. Wuqinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wuqinglong. Metal Mummymon. Joe. Anime Guy, who's Anime Guy Kurosaki and the #1 on YouTube. Chuckmon. Ishbel Bumba. Hiro Olato, who's at Hiro Olato on Twitter. Jason Morosky. Ryuchi, who is Frost Moragic on Archive of Our Own. Stephen Reeves, who is at WildLink64 on Twitter. Kaidawashi. Mac. Noam. Riku. Red and Garen from Breakfast with Digimon, which is another Digimon podcast, which you can find on SoundCloud. Chisai, who you can follow at Chisai236 on Tumblr. Corey, Kyle, the Lady Bugman, whose anime blog you can read at baguburagu.wordpress.com. Smile Wolfie, who is on Tapastic as Smile Wolfie and has a comic called Eden of Melancholy, Lupin, and Tom.
And I just read the Chapter 7's title for my fanfic.
You mean the furry?
You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which you found linked in the description. It's paypal.me/Edgemon. Make sure to sign up to the podcast. And now, after the outro music, you can listen to Chapter 7, The Furry. It's called The Furry. I'm gonna die.
God, this isn't very long. Oh no.
It's got a picture though. It's got a
Oh
picture.
no. Oh, so long.
It's not. It's only as long as it's the last time. The last time was
Jeez.
longer. Okay, let's go.
Hold on.
It's always funny. You can see how he spiked
It's
towards
10,
the chapter.
It's 10 pages.
Okay, that last one was like 12. All right, let's go.
Right.
Okay, it's me first.
No, I'm gonna say Chapter 7, The Furry.
I have no idea who's talking. It's Grand Kuwagamon. It's Grand Kuwagamon.
Flo yelled.
It's usually peaceful, but the evil makes Digimon crazy.
Please pronounce that correctly.
What? What? Okay. It's usually peaceful, but the evil makes Digimon crazy. Is David the evil?
Maisie asked. Gitli shook her head.
No, he just somehow controlled and tamed it. Is this just the Digimon card? You must destroy the evil force by scanning it away.
Flo said. Maisie nodded. She got at her D3, crossed her fingers, took a deep breath, and yelled.
Digiarmor energize! I like to point out I actually wrote it like that.
Not usually, though. Everything began to glow and shine, and the DigiEgg of Love spun around with Biomon, Birdramon, Garudamon, and Phoenixmon's shadows.
Hawkmon Digivolve 2! I like to point out I wrote Digivolve, not Armor Digivolve. Halcymon, the wings of love.
Grand Kuwagamon spun and charged at Halzamon.
Who's saying that? I'm trying to work out who's...
There, look at the end of the sentence.
I didn't realise where the sentence ended. That's how good the sentence structure is. Grand Kuwagamon is a Mega Stage Digimon.
Flo said, Halzamon can't beat a Mega Stage
No,
Digimon.
this is like thought because it's in italics.
How am I meant to know that?
Slightly slanted.
That's a lie.
Halcymon can't beat a Mega Stage Digimon, but if I tell her to try her best, I can try to believe that she'll win. I hope she wins. I hope she wins.
I need to stop. I've never ever seen a character literally say, if I hope hard enough, she'll win.
With the power of friendship, I guess.
No, she cannot win, but if I tell her and I lie and then I hope, she'll win. Maisie thought just in that moment her D3 began to glow.
Huh?
She said, holding the D3 as it glowed, about a meathev above,
ahead
of her.
I know
a
what's
tree
happening.
also shone as brightly as the D3. The bright hot paved of the tree was in the shape of a sun medal that was upside down. That would just be a sun medal.
And then I've drawn the crest of hope.
Something pulled Maisie to touch it, an invisible force wanting her to be dragged to the shining tree. Gilly ran up to Maisie.
The crest of hope?
She said, fnanning, great difficulty beliving.
This is the tree that Moosemon... Oh, I don't think I'm talking at the moment. Who is talking?
Gilly.
Oh, was Gilly talking there? All right. This is the tree that Moosemon was defeated, and with her last power, she put this seal on the tree. It has protected the forest until now. The evil has broken the seal. The evil will live in this happy frog.
Maisie placed her hands on the crest. Its self not, and it seemed to blove. She stroked the thick bark with her other hand. She stoked her D3. She lifted it to the seal. The seal sort of peeled off into the D3.
That's convenient.
Flo looked up.
The DigiEgg of Hope! Wait, no, she murmured. The DigiEgg of Hope.
She murmured, Halcymon D-Digivolved to Hawkmon.
Ready, Hawkmon?
Maisie said, beginning to believe that Hawkmon could defeat Grand Kuwaga.
Yes, that's his beat.
Fair enough.
I'm ready.
Hawkmon vaped.
Digiarmor energize!
Maisie yelled as the DigiEgg of Hope rose up and spun around Hawkmon, although along with the DigiEgg of Hope were shadows of Patamon, Angemon, Magna Angemon, and Seraphimon.
Hawkmon Digivolve 2!
Hawkmon yelled as the orange light erupted from the middle of the shadow clump.
Moosemon, the guardian of hope!
Moosemon, wait.
It's Moosemon.
Gilly said.
And then there's a drawing of Moosemon. What do you think about Moosemon? That's a real Digimon.
So ugly.
That's a real Digimon.
It's so ugly. Moosemon seemed to glow in a blue and orange color. Grand Kuwagamon launched another furry attack.
Hanging Twister.
Moosemon yelled as Grand Kawagumon's attack loined to Moosemon's attack and tossed Grand Kawagamon around.
Yeah, go Moosemon!
Maisie yelled. Moosemon's horn began to glow.
Hornblade!
She said as she charged at Grand Kawagamon with her horn, lifted Grand Kawagamon up in the air, and stinked down.
That would happen.
Grand
yes.
Kawagamon began to glow, and its data began to stream into Maisie's detector.
How did she defeat a Mega Digimon?
With armor evolutions. It was different to the other streams of data. Gilly coughed and stepped forward. Steeped forward.
Oh my god. To purify it and repair the damage that it has caused, say Fractal Code Digitize.
She said. Maisie nodded.
Prepare to get purified. Fractal Cody Digitize.
The black parts of Grand Kawagamon's data streamed into her detector, and yellow data fell over the forest.
Thank you.
Flo said.
Our forest has been saved. Oh.
Gilly said,
That's the wrong
smilling.
voice.
Grand Kawagamon smilled.
Thank you for purifying me.
No, there's no Y in that.
Thank you for purifying me.
It said, Maisie smitted. Moosemon trotted alongside Maisie and became Hawkmon again.
David needs all the DigiEggs to destroy the evil. Wait, no, this is Grand Quagmon, apparently.
This is Moosemon. No,
Are you sure?
no, it's Hawkmon, it's Hawkmon.
I know, that's what I thought, but like, he sent me to find the DigiEgg of, I'm pretty sure it's Grand Quagmon, of hope. I thought he was only looking for his DigiEgg.
Maisie said.
He knows how to turn DigiEggs into crests, so he can purify Shadow Garurumon. I thought he was evil. DigiEggs only come to those who own purified Digimon.
Oh, you own them now.
Then how will he be able to spell, apparently? Then how will he be able to find the DigiEgg of friendship? The dead, written in black text for some reason, of attempting to purify a Digimon is quite noble. What is that?
Flo smiled.
No, that was Flo speaking, okay. If he is friendly to his Digimon, it will come to him.
Grand Quagamon said. Gilly lifted her head.
The evil has trapped another ancient Digimon.
Maisie looked at Gully.
Where? In the Cave of Courage.
Gully.
Gully? What's that? I think that's what that's meant to say. Is that just Gilly there?
No, it just says Gully. Maisie asked.
A cave where deep inside it there is a DigiEgg of Courage. That makes sense.
Gilly replied.
Maisie, will you rescue this other ancient Digimon?
Flo asked.
In a cave? Psh, easy.
She said.
It's guarded by a slave of the evil, an ancient monster Digimon, and the ancient Digimon it's sealed with the crest of courage. Only those of Braveheart may proceed. What? Okay, I like to point out May's written in italics because it's my name.
Maisie looked at Gilly.
What do you want me to do when I'm there?
She asked.
Free the ancient Digimon, Vmon. Oh my god, kill me, please. Get the DigiEgg of Courage. Turn both Vmon and Hawkmon into their armor form of Courage. And defeat... I've just given up on doing the voices, by the way. And defeat the Digimon there.
Gilly replied. Flo stepped forward.
You forgot to say something.
Gilly pondered for a moment.
Of course. Purify it and revive the cave from all the damage it has caused.
Flo nodded.
Vmon then should be taken to the Wind Valley. Then you should turn Vmon and Hawkmon into any armor form you want to... what does that say?
Any form you want.
You want.
Defeat the
Digimon with lowercase capitals, apparently. There.
Gilly coughed.
But the Digimon there is very strong and cannot be beaten by two armor Digimon. Fortunately, Wind Valley is home to the human spirit of wind.
Gilly added.
My sister Flora lives in Wind Valley. She found a boulder with the sign of wind on it. She is the head of on the human spirit of wind. Research, that says research. Research on the human spirit of wind. She has discovered that the spirit will show in the middle of the battle.
Convenient. Flo said.
I get it. Then what?
Maisie asked.
Nothing.
Gilly said.
You just continue on your quest to destroy the evil.
Flo added on. Grand Quagamon lifted his head and persuade David that he...
No, I think it is him talking now.
What?
And persuade David that he is good inside.
He said.
Well, I should get an aerial view of the forest so I can protect it.
Oh, Granny Kawagamon flew off, began to patrol the area by air.
Thanks for everything,
Flo and Gilly said. Flo smiled.
Say hello to Flora for me.
She said, the flower on her head glowing in the wind.
That happens apparently. Okay.
Maisie said as she walked off into the unknown, ready to complete the quest that Flo and Gilly had given her. With Hawkmon by her side, she knew she couldn't lose.
That says lose.
Leave me alone,
Give
I
me a
wanted
break.
it. And join us next time for Chapter 8, The Cave of Courage.
I managed to spell that correctly, so, I'm just going to check, but
No,
is
we're
that
done. Just stop the recording. We're done.
No, there are 2 more chapters left.
Stop the recording. We're out of
Alright,
here.
so, see you guys next time.
I like how
Bye.
the last 3 parts, the 3 pages of it, were just you saying what's going to happen in the next chapter entirely.
Yeah, but that part hasn't even happened yet in the writing, so that's the bit I'm going to be writing. So yeah, join us for 2 more chapters, and I think it's more like a chapter and a half because I didn't finish the next
Fairymon
one.
shows up in the middle of the battle, huh?
And puts her butt on people, I guess. Apparently,
Do you get to turn into Digimon? Is that what's happening?
think so. That's-
You get to be the Digimon?
that's the way I was writing.
Hey, remember when I said you would be Fairymon?
Yeah,
Do
shut
not you agree with me?
Shut up! Okay, child me
I'm hitting stop.